Welcome. Welcome, Ultras and Switchy sisters alike, to episode 2 of the weekly episodic gaming adjacent live stream podcast show. This is Switch to Ultra. We now live in a post-Nintendo Switch 2 Direct world. A lot was shown off in that Direct. And first of all, I would like to formally congratulate us on getting Bingo on the bingo card we made in the previous episode of this video podcast. Second off, a lot has been shown at the Direct, at the Treehouse live streams, and footage found on the hands-on event. Also, while I'm looking at this, a new sports game is this one, $399.95. Am I right, guys? Where was I? So we're splitting these, everything covered in the Treehouse, in the Direct, in the footage, in the found footage, into separate episodes. I can't imagine we have a lot to say about Welcome Tour beyond it being confirmed as costing $6, which is
$6
is better than it being a full price game, but I don't understand why they wouldn't just pack it in. And I'm sure we will dedicate an episode, a full episode to Donkey Kong Bonanza in the future. I'm sure we have a lot to say about that. But for now, this is strictly the Mario Kart World episode. Welcome to Switch to Ultra family. I am your co-parent, BH Ultra.
I am your co-parent, Switchy.
And before we say anything about this game, I just want to get this out there. I want to say this thoroughly. I want you to read my lips. There is not one single listing that costs $90. This number is made up. I don't know where people are getting it and why they're repeating it, but that is plainly a hyperbolic lie. For now. I wrote that. You never know what's going to change. We may have manifested. Yeah. So how do you feel about Mario Kart World?
It looks good. There are a lot of changes that I'm excited about. I was watching a couple bits of the Treehouse, and it looks like a fun game. I'm excited. For me personally, buying the game is a no-brainer, even with the price.
Of course.
I'll probably try in spring for the bundle. I mean, it seems like, decent way to save money.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to the new characters. I'm looking forward to the new stages. I think the free roam's pretty interesting. I don't know if I'll get like that much out of it, but it's a really interesting new direction for the series, and I'm incredibly intrigued.
Yeah, I think that's just the general consensus overall is that, and I've always been on this, and, we're hosting the Switch 2 show, so maybe I can tell you guys thoroughly that we are not paid off. We are not paid at all. I think Nintendo makes good products. They consistently make good games. It's just a matter of, the business practices, I think, overall, that most people dislike.
Yeah.
And if you ask the average person, what they don't like about Nintendo games, more often than not, they're going to point to Pokemon, which is, I don't think that's not a fair criticism.
It's kind of unfair. It is kind of unfair.
I agree,
honestly.
but I'm extending an olive branch.
Yeah,
where
I'm
Nintendo doesn't make those games.
Yeah, no, exactly. And that's why I think, that's why I feel bad, because I think a lot of core Nintendo games, there is a certain amount of tact and
circumstance,
I guess meticulousness,
right,
that they do put in, a lot of the mainline games. You see it in Odyssey, you see it in the Zelda games, and I feel bad that a lot of the games that aren't necessarily outsourced, but are kind of made with a partnership of a different developer, like Game Freak, holding that, putting that on Nintendo's feet or whatever. I can't think of the idiom right now. It's just kind of unfair to Nintendo.
Yeah, that's, I guess it comes to any business with terrible business practices. I don't want to see this movie or this cartoon or watch the show or whatever because of the higher ups, the CEO, any decisions they make. But it's okay, but also people worked on that it will probably want you to see it. And the idea, right, when it comes to the price point, which we don't even fucking know right now. By the way, in the last episode, we're listen, we're not going to stop ourselves. This is not I wouldn't say a political show, but we're going to state our opinions on everything, and anyone we don't want around here can go fuck off. And now all of a sudden, all the other people want to talk about, now you care about politics. Now that it's directly affecting your Switch 2, which it is. This entire thing is a fucking mess. Right.
It's affecting my treats.
Right. What am I going to do now? How am I going to post the Tim Buckley image where it's I'm a gamer and we're not all violent, so I'm going to fucking kill you. But there's a lot to get into. It is a fucking mess. I just truly I'm at the point now where I guess I'll just pay whatever it costs to play it because I think the stream in and of itself will not pay for itself, but I think it'll be worth it. It's like going to an event. Like, okay, this is a once in a lifetime, maybe not once in a lifetime, but like once every now and then thing. Like, if I want to celebrate and like, I haven't had a console launch, like, oh man, I'm going to get everything, I'm going to stream everything, it's going to be fun. I don't think ever, because I was about to say like, oh, since so-and-so, but I don't think I ever got a console like on the launch day. Maybe the Wii U? No, I got that on like Christmas. So no, I never...
I got the Wii U for Christmas.
Yeah, I never had a console at launch. For a while, never buy a console at launch. I would, like, a console would come out around the holiday, whether it be the 3DS or the Wii U, and I would just watch, and the Switch, and I would watch videos on it nonstop, like, watch Let's Plays of people playing certain games until I knew I would get it on Christmas, and then I'd be like, okay, now I can play those games.
Yeah.
So it was 600 something in Canada?
Thing...
Go ahead.
I think the only thing I got day one, and I might have not even gotten it day one, was probably the new Nintendo 3DS XL. But even then, that might have been like 2 days after.
And that's still a 3DS. So, I think there is a
3DS.
different feeling to a new console, and I have seen people being like,
Absolutely.
why would you even like, why does this have to be a new thing? Why can't it be like a stronger Switch and continue the lineage? And I think, just from like a selfish standpoint, I know that there will never be multiple Smash Bros. Or multiple Mario Karts on the same console. So the only reason, like, beyond, like, hardware-wise, the only reason I would want to switch to or wanted to switch to is because, like, I want a new Mario Kart, I want a new Smash Bros. We've been playing these games for a little bit too long, and they have these, not arbitrary, but they have rules where they're only going to release one per console. And before we get into two small things, one is just self-indulgent, a weird inside joke reference, and the rest is Mario Kart. That their point, whatever the CEO said, I think Doug Bowser, the idea is that they want games to be, they want to charge for games what they are worth. And when it comes to Mario Kart World being 80, okay, it's a tough pill to swallow, but I'm not going to argue that that game isn't like worth 80. Like, I'm like, oh shit, there's no fucking way. However, if we get to the point, ideally, in a perfect world, this would mean that Nintendo would also release games for like 40 or 30. Because they have a lot of games in their library that are probably more worth 30 or 40 than they are 60. But I don't think that's going to happen.
Switch became a thing.
Yeah. So if they're staking to that, they're like, we're only like we're gonna price games for what they're worth. If I see fucking, I'm trying to think of an example. I don't know, a new Kirby Tilt and Tumble game, which will undoubtedly be a good game. But if it's for 60, 70, no way, man. Like you can make
the
it
Mario versus Donkey Kong game $60.
I think so, yeah. And like the Peach game, like everything they released is 60.
I think the Peach game was $40 actually.
Maybe?
I forget.
You played it more recently than I did.
Yeah, but I like literally like checked it out from the library, so I didn't buy that.
Oh, if you look up Nintendo Switch 2 Canada, you'll see it on the website. What it costs. Well, that's what I was gonna say. Is that ultimately, like, I'm not worried about the price because I've already elected to get it. You know, I can't back out now. It's not gonna bankrupt me, but it's not gonna be great.
Donkey Kong Returns HD for $60. Like,
yeah,
that's a little insane.
Like, I think what people are worried about is setting a precedent. With Mario Kart being 80, it's like, oh man, they're all going to be like this now. But we know that the upcoming Donkey Kong is 70, which is still more than they were already charging. But like you said, like there's, if you can even get the bundle, there's no reason to not get the bundle. Because then it's only like 50.
Yeah.
Peach is 60 USD, Mario vs. Donkey is 50 USD. Still.
Oh, okay, really? Interesting. I was surprised Peach is 60. I could have sworn it was 40, but I guess it's not.
But I think the issue, or rather the fear I have, is just like, not being able to get it at launch. You know, like the pre-orders were scheduled for the 9th, which is in 2 days, and it has since been pushed back to a date we do not know. Other territories can pre-order it. I don't know. And the thing is, like, you can't pre-order it multiple places because that's like, then you're paying for it multiple times over. But I gotta check multiple places. If I gotta go to a different fucking country to play the Switch at launch, I will, you know? I suppose I have to. Anyway, what I was going to get into, because, again, if you guys have questions or rather want to discuss, I mean, we're not going to bar ourselves from talking about other things, because there are a lot of, like, third-party askings, but right now there isn't anything that about Kirby Air Riders beyond it existing, and I believe the rest was, like, up-resed Switch games, at least on the Treehouse, and Donkey Kong, and we could dedicate talking to Donkey Kong later, and then the rest are... When I look at Metroid Prime 4 footage, like there's like when I play Mario Kart, I'm like, okay, I can figure out Rather, we as a community could be like, okay, this is this item, this is this character, this is this course. Even with Donkey Kong, I'm like, okay, I understand these mechanics, I understand these references. But when it comes to Metroid Prime, I don't know if it's just because like the way the game is built, or if it's like how sparsely I've played it. But when I'm looking at footage of Metroid Prime Beyond, I don't think there's anything I could point at and be like, oh, this is clearly a thing from this thing, or this means this. Like I can look at the footage and be like,
Yeah.
this looks cool, but beyond that, I don't have a lot to say. Whereas Mario Kart, I mean, prior to Smash speculation, this is probably the most I have to say about anything. Now that I would assume that because we know the ARMS team was working on Dash and Drive and Drag, whatever it's called, the basketball game. And
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
I think in theory, I don't know if it's been confirmed, but I would assume that the Donkey Kong game was worked on by the 3D Mario team, the Odyssey team.
I'm convinced it's like basically Odyssey 2. I'm convinced.
Yeah. So I don't think we're getting this DK release date or this near launch title and then like, oh, we'll get a 3D Mario in like a year or two. I think this is the equivalent. Like this is their Luigi's Mansion for the GameCube. This is like
Yeah, and I'm a little
basically
I'm
a
a little
3D
more
Mario.
bummed about that. Well, maybe not bummed, because I think honestly, altogether, Bonanza's exciting.
Yeah.
Though I kind of hope that there is a new 3D Mario somewhere down the line that's not too, far away. But
We even like Bowser's Fury, which was not a full game, but still was like 2021, so it was 3 after Odyssey.
2021.
I
Yeah.
don't think they have a 3D Mario on the back burner, but I think if DK doesn't sell well, this is the other thing I wanted to say is that like we are Nintendo fans, like very provably so. That's what the show is, and I wanted to play. I think they make good product, and I like most of their games, if not all of their games. Maybe not all of them grab me, but I think they make good games, which is you can't really say that about a lot of game companies. And it's there is a little bit of like nostalgia and like Disney adult in there, where just like that shit means something to me, man. And I don't know if you I imagine so got like a Wii U when it came out, and like nobody really around you got a Wii
Very
U.
much so. I got made fun of.
It made you feel bad about it, and a little bit of buyer's remorse. You don't want to buy something you care about and then have people be like, "What fucking idiot would buy this?" You know. But I don't think there's any gain in going to bat for a company. And although I like the games, I think the games are worth it. The price point does not bother me. I think Nintendo is in a very different position than they were in the era of the Wii U, where I am not worried about them going away from console manufacturing or like going bankrupt, you know? Now they have a film division and like theme parks and toys and whatnot. So if the console fails, I'm not going to be too worried about the company. When I see people complaining about the price point and whatnot, in the context of like, oh man, this is a lot, I don't want to pay this, as opposed to like, do you guys really think it's worth this much? I hold my tongue, because although I don't agree, I understand that if there is a loud enough echo or rumble for the price point, that we can everyone that plays games only benefit from it. Like when the Wii U was selling like shit, they were giving away free games, and like when the 3DS didn't perform well at launch, they like slashed the price. I understand that, like, although I don't think it's a problem, although I don't have a problem with it, I understand that we can benefit from people complaining. All of that to say, if you look at the treehouse footage we're gonna watch, or like re-uploaded clips, and they didn't do this because of this, but if you go back and watch like the treehouse VODs, the entire chat the entire time is spamming lower the price. And
lower the price.
If they wanted to, then like they could be like, okay, let's reassess this. But now they're kind of in a corner where with tariffs and all that, because I think they're manufacturing out of Vietnam. They can't, even if they wanted to. Best case scenario,
the typical tariff is like 60-70% with Vietnam. Or I don't know if the tariffs are in place yet, but there are logistical issues with Nintendo's manufacturing.
Right.
That provide some barriers to get into the United States at an affordable price.
Best case scenario is they turn back around and the price is the same. That's the best case scenario.
49%, my bad. I think there was a different country in like Southeast Asia that I read that was like 60%, but I forget which one it is.
I hope they work it out. I hope someone with fucking brains steps in and like does something about this deal, you know? Because surely the guy in charge is not going to see the error of his ways. Oh, the 80th time, now he'll learn. No, he's a fucking idiot, and it's only going to get worse. Congrats, guys. We did it.
Yeah.
We did it, guys. Woo. I'm so tired of
I think it
winning.
might have been Taiwan. Yeah.
Maybe.
No, it's not Southeast Asia. I guess
But
it's not
two
really.
very quick things before we discuss Mario Kart, because there is a lot of Mario Kart to get through. I'm going to throw over to the screen that we're going to be sitting at for a long period of time. This is just a, I guess I could, well, I mean, you could see it on the stream. This is just a self-indulgent sort of reference. I don't want to like make it go too far because I don't want anyone to believe that I genuinely have beef. But anyone that watched the Super Smash Bros. Ultimate's DLC hype cycle video, it's been like a good week or so now. So anyone that wanted to watch it, they could have watched it. There's a running gag in there where I am, for whatever reason, a teenage me was constantly beefing with a YouTube account called Blocked Content. And prior to that video, can I, oh man, I gotta move the screen. Prior to that video, the last video they had uploaded was like 3 years prior. And then I missed this because of all the direct stuff. This could just be a joke because it was posted on April 1st, 2025. But this is like, it just says announcement. And now there's a fully new Block Content logo. I don't know if they are coming back. But God, I hope so. Now's a good time. Everyone go subscribe to Block Content now. All right? I've truly done a number on them and I feel bad. We'll get them on the show. We have a lot to discuss.
Let's bury the hatchet.
Yeah,
Block
man, let's
is
do it.
back.
Let's work it out in the remix. Let's get live on the stream and let's fucking talk.
I'm
Also,
realizing I'm like responding to what I'm seeing on screen like 7 seconds later, so I just said blocked is back like 7 seconds after like it shows up.
it's
on
all right.
screen.
It still matters. Listen, it's resonant even now. Minimalistic capitalist logos even hit Block Content.
There's some colors. There's
Bro
some
brought
colors.
Block
It's not
Content
like-
back. I didn't do this. I guarantee whoever's in charge of Block Content did not see the Smash video. I hope not. Anyway, before all the Mario Kart stuff, because there are individual games we could talk about, but just from like from a news standpoint, like, oh, we got to get the jump on this. We've learned a lot. I think the main selling point and the reason I'm a little underwhelmed is because it seems like a big selling point of the Switch 2 is the Switch 2 edition games, which is something we put on our bingo card.
Yeah.
That most of the, like, even at the treehouse, they're like showing footage of Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, which Breath of the Wild came out in 2017. You could play Mario Party Jamboree or Kirby and the Forgotten Land or Breath of the Wild or Metro Prime 4. And also Legend ZA, which will actually be a real video game on the Switch 2, or at least run like one. And I'm cool with that. Like, I like the little upgrades, especially if what I've heard a lot of different misinformation, and I don't want to be a part of it, where we just like regurgitate what other people have said that may or may not be true, because I saw another thing where people were mad about game carts, or rather game keys, or like, oh, if you buy the Switch 2 edition, it only comes with the Switch 1 cart and then a download code, which is not true. It all comes on the card if you buy it.
Oh, okay. Then I guess I guess I fell for that sentiment. I fell
for it too. Yeah, it's rough
I
because
thought
now
like Metroid Prime 4, basically you kind of get a basic like card, and then you just are able to like get a code for the Switch 2 edition stuff. So that's not the case?
No.
Oh, okay.
From my understanding, again, like, it would help if all the things we're gonna say about Mario Kart today, not next week, but the week after, there's going to be a Mario Kart Direct, and I'm still holding out that like maybe it's $80 or was for a specific reason, because they clearly care about Donkey Kong as well, and that's $70. So I feel like 80 is what really put people up in the tizzy, and I don't know if it's going to be like, oh, you get all the DLC free moving forward, or it will constantly update, or it comes with a fucking wheel that you put your Joy-Con in. I'm holding out that like there's something. But the Direct is still scheduled to happen, even though pre-orders have been indefinitely canceled, and we don't know what the price point is going to be ultimately.
Yeah,
but
I'm pretty, maybe not, maybe I shouldn't say that.
You're pretty.
I think I'm oh, thank you. I'm pretty convinced. I think that 450 is probably, they're gonna lock in on that. I think the reason that they are delaying the pre-orders isn't necessarily that they're not sure about the price or the release date. I think more so they are going to not cut corners, but they are going to try and minimize the amount of cost it takes to get as many Switch 2s into the United States as possible.
Right.
And because of that, they're kind of trying to come up with a game plan to potentially argue, oh, these aren't actually made here, they're made there, or whatever.
Right. They're made in Ohio.
Yeah. I think that's the main reason why pre-orders are going to take a little bit longer. That's my copium, frankly.
Right.
That's my copium.
I
I'm
think, like,
hoping that they're gonna stick to 450.
as much as we want to, like, in theory, defend Nintendo, and we don't want to, but it's more of just, like, I think there's a lot of misinformation out there. You have to kind of pin some of the misinformation on them because there's no clear... Like, there was no price in the Direct. People had to scramble after the Direct to find out. We didn't see it until after. It's why we didn't really talk about it.
Yeah.
And similarly, I have heard from certain websites, from tweeters, from, like, insiders, whatever, that... Yeah, if you want a graphical upgrade, it's like $10. But if you have Nintendo Switch Online expansion, you get it for free. That's what I heard. Again, I don't want to report on this and then it's like incorrect, or maybe it's even more correct than I previously thought. I think we are all still very much in the dark, and that's why there's so much animosity for these Treehouse streams, because for a live stream, they're really not communicating with people. They're just kind of showing... They easily could have been pre-recorded footage. And the second thing, the reason I brought up game upgrades is because there is this image here, I think either on the website or during the Direct, that list all these games compatible Nintendo Switch games that are likely going to get upgrades on the Switch 2. And we've heard about Kirby, we've heard about Tears of the Kingdom. I'm seeing Bowser's Fury and Mario Strikers and Echoes of Wisdom and Super Mario Odyssey. You know, we might get DLC with that someday, maybe. But also some of these upgrades or some of these enhancements, like Scarlet and Violet. I know Scarlet and Violet is free. Might just be graphical enhancements, which is fine. But you'll notice up here, it may seem a little confusing. This may just seem like Yoshi's Crafted World, but this is actually the box art for Yoshi's Woolly World plus Poochie, or whatever the 3DS version of the Wii U game is called. And there has been no announcement for Yoshi's Woolly World being ported to the Switch 2. And over here, we could see DK Country Returns HD, or you guys can't because of the screen. Sorry. I had it zoomed in so it'd be easier to check out. You can see it over here. Editor, put the box art. We could just ask directly now. Flash the box art of Yoshi's Woolly World 3DS on the screen. That's what it looks like. It looks like that image up there. So this is either a very elaborate mistake, which I don't think they make often, and if they did, it probably would have been taken down. Or this means that we're getting a 3DS Wii U port to the Switch again. And the fact that it's listed as a Nintendo Switch game leads me to believe that it's going to be on the Nintendo Switch. But it's strange that they wouldn't show it off at the Direct. Because that Direct, for better or for worse... Oh, shout out Persona Fanboy. I thought it said Femboy. A lot of these, I don't want to be one of those journalists, but a lot of stuff we're covering today, because we were not invited to the hands-on Nintendo Switch experience. I'm just going to be... We did our best. If we do this podcast weekly enough, we'll just be flagged as journalists, and we'll be flown out to stuff. There are some influencers that I haven't seen in forever on here, and I'm excited to talk about. But we have some tweets up here we'll get into once we cover the footage that are just like, we're going to shout everyone out, but unfortunately, our newscasting right now is just going to be looking at other people's tweets. We are going to look at the Treehouse footage ourselves. But yeah, Yoshi's Woolly World. I did play that on the Wii U. I hope it isn't like a DK Country Returns situation where, although there is extra content on the 3DS version, it like looks a little worse. And when it came to like Donkey Kong Country Returns HD, they ported the 3DS version, which does have the additional levels and better controls, of course, but also just kind of looks a little worse than the Wii version. Do you have any allegiance to Yoshi's Woolly World at all? I like Woolly Yoshi more than I like Crafted Yoshi. I got hooked on Smash again, and I was playing it with friends, and the Crafted Yoshi skin is so ugly. I wish it just was a Woolly Yoshi skin. And it's annoying that there's two fully green Yoshis.
Oh, yeah. To be fair, I get that.
Mm-hmm. If you ever need...
I guess I don't really have a very strong opinion one way or the other.
It's just... This is on YouTube too. Yeah, this is on the BH Ultra Turbo YouTube channel. And then there will be an edited version of it posted to the Turbo channel on its own. So, Switchy, if at any point you want something to appear on screen, you just tell the editor to show it on screen.
Okay,
and
for sure.
You will. Now, are you ready to talk about Mario Kart World and all the footage?
I am so ready.
I can like share my screen with you on Discord. I don't know if it'll like mess with the live stream quality. I think it'll probably be okay. The chat will let us know. But I'm going to mute these because it'll be a lot louder. And I am going to play this. This is just the trailer from the Direct. This is the trailer on its own, so this is not the Direct. I am going to play this until something worth talking about happens.
Okay.
And stop. Okay, perfect. We're 20 seconds in. So you're covering it a little bit, but I can back this up. This is something we will get more info on later. Actually, I'm gonna move you if that's okay, just for the time being. Let me bunch you. I'll put you right next to me so we can discuss more closely. You'll notice here that there is a direct road that Mario was just driving on to get to this course. Like this road leads here, and then it turns and leads into the course itself. Which I believe, if I have my little document here, this is, I did write these all down. We'll get into them. This is Mario Bros. Circuit. I think. I could be wrong. I'm just going to trust everything I said. All right, editor, this is Mario Bros. Circuit. There's the square for Mario Bros. Circuit. Anyway.
Not tell him he's wrong.
Yeah. You know what? Exactly. Put a burger on screen. You could see this car, like there are individual NPCs driving on this road. This car is very clearly driving into this wall that is placed here to cart off the course. So I think this is the transitional period from where, if it was open world, if you're playing in the open world Rome version, this wall would not be here. This wall only exists for you to go from course to course. And this is something we learn more of in the treehouse, is that you will actually need to traverse from course to course. We see a lot of characters here. I think there has been a large list of characters confirmed. I'm sure you guys have seen it. I'm sure most of the characters you want to know about, you will have heard of. We have Mario and Luigi, if you can believe it. Peach is in this game as well. Sorry, let me go back, because this is Mario Bros. Circuit. We know this. We're going to need to take this very slow. This is Mario Bros. Circuit. It's going to cut. This is Faraway Oasis. This is another course. Editor, show that on screen. Another course showing off in the treehouse. There was a Mario sports mix game, I think, in the past where they had an equestrian game. And ever since that game came out, all the horses in Mario games have had the same face. And now it seems that giraffes also have it. This game, although I don't like Mario Kart Tour, with the costumes and the courses seem a lot more Tour inspired. This being Mario Kart World seems a lot more like ironically, a world tour, because there's a lot of courses based on different areas, and this is more of a savannah level. It's Faraway Oasis. This highway,
now we're on that.
I haven't quite placed. I'm going to assume it's DK Spaceport, although that does show up later.
Really? I wouldn't have guessed DK Spaceport, but I haven't seen it.
What do you think this is? Because I couldn't pin it either.
No. I think it might be one of the city. I forget the names of it. I think there was like a city, kind of more of a city-like.
Right. Crown City.
Crown City, maybe.
It's either Crown City,
but I wasn't 100%
or DK Spaceport. Where we get to DK Spaceport in a second, but after this is Whistletop Summit. I want to make sure I got that right. Footage shown off. This is Salty Speedway. Basically, editor Ethan, whenever we say them, just have them appear on the bottom, so we have a big listing of all of them. These are all new courses. This is based off of Venice. I'm not a very worldly person. I'm going to assume that's true. I could be wrong. Have you ever been to Venice?
I just because of the water, I assumed Venice.
Yeah, Venice and water, of course.
Texture.
Whereas this DK
water.
Pass, which was on the DS, is a returning course. So we know that the overworld that they're putting this is the overworld.
That was a relief. I was curious if they were just not going to have returning courses because of the way that this game is designed. But fortunately, we are happy.
And there's more on that later when it comes to one specific course that has been in every Mario Kart game. But we see the map in general, and maybe editor, you could flash it on screen. It was made by, who was it made by? Hold on, I have it in my files. I want to make sure I credit this correctly. It was created by, let me open this image here, actually. Mario Party Legacy. Shout out Mario Party Legacy on Twitter. I got this from the wiki. We have a map of all the courses. But because of that, people have discussed like the future of DLC for this game. I guess we could do the Odyssey thing where it's like, you add an additional island and then people show up there, more courses show up. But this game kind of seems anti-DLC, not from like a standpoint, but just like the world is already made. The appeal of this game is that they're all connected in a world. So really, whether or not this is worth $80 to you is whether or not you fuck with the idea of an open world Mario Kart game. I don't think it necessarily works for other games. I was about to say, not this one, but last week we talked about like every game wanting to be open world, but a lot of them not being dense enough. If there's a lot to do in this game, then I'll fuck with it. But this is DK Pass, and then immediately after, this is DK Spaceport.
We got the Spaceport.
And I see the yellow rails on the side, and we can get more into the footage later, and we're going to. We could also see the new DK. This was our first glimpse at the new DK in the original Switch 2 trailer. Do you think they always intended on showing that off the way they did, or do you think they wanted to show off the new DK before? Well, I guess ultimately this would have been the first showcase anyway. This is Crown City. I think this is what Crown City looks like, which is why the Golden Gate looking bridge, the rooftop around the Sonic level, Sonic Adventure 2 level, doesn't really, at least to me, mesh with this, but it doesn't mesh with DK. I'm pretty sure it's DK Spaceport. I could be wrong. And then we have, this is more DK Pass. This is
DK Pass? I guess you're...
It is, right?
Interesting.
I mean, if it's the Summit, then yeah.
I think you're right. Yeah.
I haven't really looked at this. Like, I've been looking at the footage and being like, okay, this is what course it is. DK Pass, of course, coming from the DS games. But I
just don't remember DK Pass being that big.
This vast. Yeah, well, that's the thing with this game, is that there's so much to go. I hope it opens up different paths to take in the race, ideally.
Mm-hmm.
And then this is this isn't the Savannah. This might be the in-between of the Faraway Oasis and Mario Bros. Circuit, because I'm pretty sure they're in the same cup. Survival Horror Diddy Kong Racing. Oh, haven't you heard? They killed Diddy. It doesn't exist anymore. I think this is Salty Speedway, which makes me believe more and more that it is, in fact, Venice, or just Italy in general. Waiting for new ones to show up. Oh, this is, of course, a new one. This is the Great Block Ruins, which...
Is that the actual name?
Yeah. I've only seen this frame,
okay.
and even the frame they use, if you show it on screen right now, it uses this. I don't know if I've seen enough of this course. Maybe we'll see more of it later, but... I mean, the ruins, this is, I think, Bowser's Castle, because it has a lot of, if we could slowly go through this, I'm going to slow it down a little bit.
You see some of the Bowser banners and stuff?
Well, that's what I was going to say. You see Bowser, but also, I could be wrong, but the way the banners are displayed, okay, this is a little too slow.
You can, click and press and hold until you get there.
I'm getting it.
You
that's
click
true.
And hold, it'll speed it up.
Oh, you can see Buffalo there. I think there's going to be a lot more NPCs as well, because we've seen that in the overworld of it all. Yeah, there's Bowser enemies, there's Bowser branding, but also the color scheme kind of reminds me of Bowser's more...
Also, the
Odyssey
tower kind of wall.
Well, his final level, and not the final level, but his level in Odyssey was very I think China. Was it China or was it Japan?
I think it's China. I assumed... it's fine. I just didn't expect it to be Chinese.
Yeah.
I think it is more based
You're
on...
going to Bowser's Castle, and then you realize it's Chinese. This is Wario Stadium, N64. How could I forget it? It's got Wario branding all around. I think that's a fair bet, is if you see the branding, you have to assume, which is why they showed off Wario here. Ironically, however, this is Wario's shipyard from 3DS. I think that's fair. I know there's another,
They've taken a lot of liberties with the designs, because I just pulled up the DK Pass kind of comparison video, and they really take, it does not look that similar to how it was in the
This is
DS.
a course I'm really excited for. It's called Boo Cinema, and it's got,
oh my god,
it's got film reel here. I mean, I already like the spooky Mario Kart levels, but the fact that it seems to be on a film reel and kind of on sets.
This was something I was really concerned about, actually, is that because the world was going to take place in kind of like an open world, or the tracks were going to be in an open world, I was concerned that would be a limiting factor in how strange or otherworldly a lot of the courses could be. But it seems that either way they are fitting stuff like this in, because I'm thinking where's the giant pinball machine in Mario Kart World? You know what I mean?
Well, I hope the world map we saw...
We're gonna get cool stuff either way.
The world map we saw is, base game, and then maybe you, get to go to space for some stuff.
Star
at
World
some point.
Or something.
Yeah, maybe. And we also... Go ahead.
Oh, sorry.
No, you're good.
I think I almost lost what I was going to think. Because, I guess one thing I was really worried about when we initially started hearing about the open world is that it's I was concerned that a lot of the race courses were just going to be, desert world.
Right.
Sand,
grass,
world,
ice,
stuff like that.
sand.
But it seems that that's not going to be a huge issue.
I do like that the cups in this game have a connective tissue. Anyway, I'm just going to cover it now. I saw, Luigi's Mansion fans being like, man, I hate that King Boo looks like this. I wish he looked like the version he does in Luigi's Mansion. And I understand that. I think that's fair. I don't think that's, an argument to be like, this game sucks. But, it's one of those, oh, can we put Mr. L in Smash Bros? I'm not against it. But also, I don't care, that much. It's not something that keeps me up at night.
I think I'm pretty pro Luigi's Mansion King Boo, just because it's a slightly more novel design. That being said, I mean, I think it's a perfect opportunity for an alternate costume. But
right. Editor, show what Luigi's Mansion King Boo looks like. He's more purple in the face.
And yeah, and he has like the little crown with the like ruby on it or
We
whatever.
do have whatever the course we see next is. Oh, this is the rail grinding, of course.
I assume this is the Mario, the first, maybe not.
Yeah. This, however,
Oh, this one's cool.
this creates its
This is
own
probably
tangent.
Sarasaland, right?
This is Shy Guy
Or
Bazaar from 3DS.
oh, okay.
But
Oh, okay.
also, no, I mean
Wasn't that
you're
one at
right.
night?
I
Oh wait,
does
is the
does it
time of
not?
day different? Like it's
It
I
is,
forget.
yeah. They have different weather conditions, a
Okay.
different time of day. I mean, it definitely looks like Shy Guy Bazaar, and we saw that in the
It probably
treehouse
is.
at a certain point. But you're right. There seems to be a Middle Eastern inspired castle that has Daisy's logo on the front. Editor, I have that in the file if you can show that on screen as well. And there was also a course that we can pinpoint later. It might be in one of these, actually. I'm gonna wait until I find it. I could be wrong. I thought it was one of these. I am wrong.
Pirate Boo!
Don't worry about it. We'll get to it later. There was an image of a course we do not know, a little thumbnail for it, that was spotted in the treehouse, and we'll pinpoint it when we get to it, that looks like it is set in Sarasaland, which, if you don't know, is where Super Mario Land, the Game Boy clean black and green, took place, and it's where you would rescue that crazy Princess Daisy. And it seems to be like the only proper Mario Land reference since like the game came out, because Odyssey had those little stone guys, the Easter Island heads.
Yeah.
But these seem to be moving.
Yeah,
It seems
right.
like it seems like we're gonna get Sarasaland references.
And I'm really excited for that. I think I remember people were showing, editor, pull it up if you can find it. Like Daisy has very, I mean, I guess the way an American who watches movies will describe it is kind of like Daisy in a dress that reminds you of like Jasmine from Aladdin.
Yeah.
And I remember someone saying, I kind of headcanon this is like her main dress, and she wears like the dress we're usually used to when she's visiting the Mushroom
She
Kingdom or
code
something like
switches
that.
when she's around Peach.
She code switches, literally.
Yeah.
I kind of like that idea. I think it's cute.
Yeah. Well,
I forget where I was going with
for
that.
a
Yeah,
while.
I'm very excited for the Sarasaland stuff. I am very excited because I think one thing that I noticed, especially with the Donkey Kong redesign, I feel like with Mario, they're looking more to the past, and they've always been willing to do that, but they're looking in places that I feel like have been kind of neglected. I mean, the Mario Land stuff, the kind of world that was described there, that's a thing that's never really been explored since the Game Boy days.
Right.
And I'm very excited to see some of that come back, potentially.
I did see some discourse for this game as well when it comes to like, oh man, the Koopalings are cut. I have nothing against the Koopalings, like as opposed to like all these different enemies being in the game. However, I think the Koopalings are emblematic of an era of Nintendo where it was just like you would just reference the same handful of things. And I have no dog in the Paper Mario fight, but I can understand why people were frustrated that it was just Toads and just Goombas and whatnot. And I didn't want to I'm gonna put this in 4K, by the way, or however up it goes, because it already looks pretty good. Oh, it goes to fucking 4K. Let's go. Let's see Mario in 4K. I don't even know if I'm streaming in 4K, so it doesn't matter.
I don't
But
think you are.
the Mario design, he looks a lot pudgier. He also looks like those silicon graphic renders made for Mario 64. Like, not what Mario 64 looks like, but like the box art and that one image of him throwing Bowser by the tail. I think this is a lot more saturated. Not like Mario Kart Tour saturated, but there's a lot to say about Shy Guy
Everything's a little bit
Bazaar.
more pudgy, I think, and more expressive, to be honest.
I believe
It's a new direction, and I'm kind of excited to see where they take it.
Mhm.
I'm
This
not
has
sure
to be
which I
DK Spaceport.
prefer. Yeah, if not, it's still probably the same course as the one with. And then we have the cap.
'Cause we could talk about
whatever one the bridge was on.
Well, no, before that, I think I cut you
Cow?
up.
Oh, well, yeah, no, just the change in the visual style. I mean, I brought this up in a couple streams. It's very new for Mario because as we said, they really locked in on a very specific look for Mario, very specific proportions, I'd even argue. And now it seems like they're kind of moving away from that. I mean, the obvious example is Donkey Kong, but there were a lot of comparisons between the way things looked in Mario Kart 8 and Mario Kart World that you could tell, everything's a little more cartoony. And Mario's already a cartoony series, but I'm not sure if I prefer it. I think, it might be I'm not bothered by it, but oh, you do? Okay.
The more cartoony looks?
I could very well. The Donkey Kong thing is something I like. I definitely am not negative towards it, but I guess there's just something kind of interesting to me. It's like, wow, this is really changing. They're really doing some new stuff, which is probably more of a good thing than a bad thing.
I think
You
it's
could
early
probably,
days, and I think it's just different, and I can understand
yeah,
why people are like apprehensive, but also people are always
yeah,
apprehensive to change. But I think that's why Nintendo is probably Donkey Kong isn't. He's a popular character in the fact that like your parents know who Donkey Kong is, but not in
hmm
the sense that like everyone wants to play Donkey Kong games. Like I would say Donkey
yeah,
Kong's video games are not that popular. So the average person
yeah.
who's like, "Oh, I'm gonna
Actually,
get a Switch game for my kids," they might they might see Donkey Kong and be like, "Oh shit, I played this in the '80s," so on and so forth. But the reason they're able to change that so drastically is because it is just Donkey Kong. However, I think they're kind of banking on like, "Oh shit, everyone wants to play a Donkey Kong game, so it's gonna be a launch title," where I think it will maybe have diminishing returns. I mean, I'm excited, and I think Nintendo fans are excited, but you have to. I think we're at the point
yeah,
now
I
where
think
beyond Mario
I'm
Kart and Smash Bros. And like Breath of the Wild,
Zelda,
yeah,
maybe.
perfect. The average like gamer, quote unquote, that like isn't necessarily a Nintendo fan will only plays those three. Like I don't think they play Pikmin or the Mario spin-offs or anything like that. Put you all
hmm
onto something. Are we still doing it? Sorry, the
Yeah.
chat is talking about there's a guy who is commissioning Elephant Daisy
Oh yeah, Zach
art.
Scott Games, the
Damn,
king,
you're just gonna
bro.
say that
My
directly?
hero,
Yeah,
my
honestly, like, are
hero.
we mad at this guy for doing this? He's commissioning artists to Dagoon? Who cares? People do that.
Commissioning artist for like a beautiful elephant daisy art.
Yeah, a
Um,
brave goddess.
that reminds me. Well, there's a couple things that I was kind of itching to say.
Mm-hmm.
One thing that I found interesting is that I forget what his name is. If I get it wrong, if I pronounce it wrong, my bad. Regardless, he was Kevin Bayless, I think. He was
Yes.
the
Yeah.
initial artist for Donkey Kong in
Mm-hmm.
the one that kind of designed the Donkey Kong Country design. He was part of Rare, and even
Yes.
he said that he likes the new design better than what he did. I think he might be a little hard on himself because I think they did develop the Rareware design into a unique, likable character design.
Right.
But it is interesting that even he's like, oh well, they have a lot of new opportunities here. That was the first thing I wanted to say. But
Yeah.
another thing I think,
Well, just real quick,
well,
we
what,
talked about him
oh sorry,
on previous Turbo News segments, and it's because like I've been following him for a little bit. It's because like
uh,
he is a game developer first and not an
but not
artist.
an
So he
artist.
right,
Yeah,
he's the anti Toby Fox, where he's just like, yeah, whatever, I'll draw, like it'll look cool or whatever. But the reason he's
yeah,
hard on himself is he's like, we probably should have hired artists. And he said in his
yeah.
tweet that I read on Turbo News that he gave Donkey Kong, quote, Battletoad eyes, which is just like a signature he had, which is why Donkey Kong looked the way it did for the longest time. Continue.
And I guess he might be thinking that Donkey Kong looks kind of stale or something.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the new one is definitely looking a little bit more expressive. There's more room to kind of bring out a certain amount of personality. Although I do think that over the last freaking 30 years, they did kind of expand upon the Donkey Kong design, especially in Smash Bros. In the newer country games. That I don't think Donkey Kong still looks stale. I guess
It's
that's the
not
one
one to
thing.
one. It's been slowly tweaked over
Yeah.
time. Like it doesn't look like
Yeah,
it did
exactly.
in DKC. But obviously this
And
is
the
like
other thing,
no, go ahead. You're
the
good.
other thing I just kind of thought was interesting to bring up is you can although I think not a lot of people initially wrote it off as just a unique style for the game itself, I think you can kind of see them moving towards the new art style in Mario Wonder.
Yes.
But because that game it already had a bit of a storybook design, there was kind of the cartoony stuff. I think I personally underestimated how much it was going to affect the 3D Mario art style, and it
Mm-hmm.
actually was more of a sign to think of things to come than I thought it was.
What
Anyway, that's all I
Wonder
wanted to say.
came out like right after the movie, and also like
Yeah.
in between the two of those, they announced the recasting of Charles Martinet. And I talked about this with Deli the other night, is that
Oh,
that
really?
kind of opened my eyes a little bit of how like people hate change, but like I think they should have done it a little less unceremoniously. But he got a spot in the movie, and he always gets the thanks. He Smash Bros. Ultimate was the 100th time he voiced Mario or a character in the
Mm,
Mario franchise, and I like he couldn't voice it forever. It at some point had to go to someone else, and I was hit with the realization that there are legitimately people out there that like only ever want one person to play a character. And that's how I feel about
yeah.
like cartoon reboots, like Phineas and Ferb is coming back. That's why we were talking about it. There's the Futurama show. There was the Animaniacs reboot, Clone High. That I used to be against these reboots, and I don't love that we're just recreating the same things over and over. I would like to see new cartoons flourish, like Stugo and Primo's, and Invincible Fight Girl. But I'm fine with them now because one, so few cartoons are being made that like if people are getting work, that's ultimately a win for everyone. And also, like, imagine if at some point Warner Bros. Or Disney were like, okay, we're done with Bugs Bunny. We're not going to use this character anymore. Or they did that with Mickey Mouse. Like, I think a character like SpongeBob can live on forever. And I'm excited for who gets to play SpongeBob after Tom Kenny. I like the idea of it being a legacy character that the torch is passed. Like is it Eric Bauman? Am I saying that right? No, Eric Bauza. Sorry, my mistake. Eric Bauza has done a fantastic job with like all the new Looney Tunes characters, and he's predominantly in the Looney Tunes movie, the new one, The Day the Earth Blew Up. But there are legitimately people who, like, when the Simpsons cast retires or like when the SpongeBob cast retires, they want like the show to end. And I think seasonally it's fine, like if you don't want the show to keep going for multiple seasons, but I don't think those brands should end. Like if you want to go the route of Bugs Bunny or Mickey Mouse, where you're still making content and art with those characters can live forever. You're making movies, like there was that one Courage the Cowardly Dog movie with Scooby-Doo that came out a couple years ago for no reason. Like the show wasn't rebooted, it was just a movie, and a lot of those characters came back for Jellystone. I think these cartoon characters can exist forever, and it's kind of fucked up that like the creator of these characters will probably like the characters will outlive them, and from a business standpoint, I hope they're properly given their due, given their money, given everything they're worth for creating those characters. And I know that isn't always the plan, the idea, but there are legitimately people who are just like, no, I don't want anyone else to ever play this character. The day they recast SpongeBob, it's gonna go fucking nuclear for people on Twitter who don't even watch SpongeBob.
No, exactly. That's a good point.
Yeah.
And it's funny because even as a kid, this is so funny. I'm going to bring it up.
Yeah.
I remember being really mad that they recasted Alejandro in Total Drama.
Yeah.
And being just so miffed about it. And it's like on some level, I think it's over dramatic, because there's still, I mean, although I think the initial voice, Marco Grazzini, did a great job voicing him, I think there's still so many elements to writing and bringing that character to life that are still involved. And I think there's still a vision for that character, that it's not really the loss of a voice actor that changes the character forever, even though I kind of thought it did. I think I really hated Change as a teenager.
Yeah. Well, I thought the thing was at the time, or at least what I heard, is that it was like a white guy doing the voice and he couldn't really get the Spanish isms down. That's what I had heard. But also probably the original voice actor may have also been a white guy, so I don't know.
No, well, I guess Marco Grazzini was probably Italian. Maybe like part Italian, part Hispanic. Yeah. I actually don't know. But
I would say like a more apt modern comparison is Chris McLean being recast for the new seasons.
Yeah.
And it is different. I guess I would rather them like pick someone who does the Chris voice. Like I don't think the individual person doing it matters. Like they recast Rick and Morty, and I think it's a negligible difference.
I dislike how I think they went out of their way to not have the voice just be entirely different. I don't like that, but I think passing the torch is a totally normal thing to do. And if you really want things to last forever, I think it's totally reasonable to have new talent.
Also, from the standpoint of being a voice actor, like, imagine how cool that would be. Like, I imagine it is cool for Eric Balza to, like, play these characters that have existed longer than he has. And I imagine whoever gets cast is, like Kevin Afghani, who plays the Mario characters now, like, grew up playing Mario games. Whoever becomes SpongeBob next, I imagine that would be a huge honor for him. It's not like these are going to, like, soulless AIs, although, some shows might. You never know.
Yeah, that's scary things. But...
Yeah, or like, they sold out and paid a different guy. No, these voice actors care about the lineage of these characters, and I think that's cool. Mm-hmm. I think it's cool for a new generation to be able to voice these characters, because they've probably been doing the voices since they saw it on TV.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right, so this is the moment of the direct where people started freaking out, where we saw the cow character for the first time. This course is, of course, Moo Moo Meadows. I think so far in the direct, they've been...
Character.
Huh?
Like, is this gonna be like moos? I'm curious what the sounds for the cow are gonna be. Like when the cow like is excited, it's gonna be like a moo or.
Well, let's see if we can. Does it play anything in the direct? Oh my god! Never mind. Forget that. This toad, by the way, we'll see it more on the character select screen. I like how chunkier the toad is. So I was gonna say before is that
I love the toad redesign.
They seem more like the Silicon graphics, like what Mario Kart 64 was supposed to look like in theory. Mm-hmm. There's a little texturing on the bullet bill. We'll get more into the items when we get into the actual treehouse of it all. I think there's a lot about these courses that we don't know. Like we see Burdetta go into this truck and then drive it around. There's also destructible environment. These tweets here by shout out. Oh no, this is the French one, I think. There have been two accounts I've been following or like tracking for a while, and it's Musings Yoshi and Mario Kart Act 2. Hawk 2, am I right? Anyway, to translate the post, it says some elements of the scenery are destructible, which is true. This is the highway level as well, so we're definitely gonna. The only tweets I saved are the ones that aren't treehouse footage. Like this is like gameplay footage.
What are all those icons around the screen?
This is when you're playing online. You know, where like when you're in that world map area in Mario Kart 8 where it does the roulette of it picks a random course that somebody picked. This is what this is. You pick a cup and then it like goes around and it picks one of them. I haven't seen that many on screen as of yet though. But there are destructible environments, and like I said, we'd see this mechanic as well.
Trying to explain costume changes to an American,
right?
Imagine.
You collect the orange food bags, and then you get a snack, a little road trip snack along the way, and it changes your costume. I have wait. Is this is still Moo Moo Meadows?
I have a lot of questions about that mechanic, to be honest.
Okay, I do have a lot to say. We'll get into like the treehouse footage. We're almost done with this. I'm just waiting for. Wait, hold on. Did I miss it? No, I don't think it's happened yet. We could put the speed back to normal now. I don't think a lot's gonna happen for a while. Although these designs are really cute. I'm glad they pinpointed the Peach designs. Is this a lot of these are Odyssey designs, right? Like I think this Ghost design is one she wore in Odyssey, or at least the kimono.
Had that Ghost out. I think she had that Ghost hat actually.
Mm-hmm. There is also we see I'm gonna assume it's Kamek, whatever, and not just a generic Magic Koopa. That is not a playable character this time, but an item that you can get in the item boxes. And later that was Salty Speedway, and this is Peach's Stadium. This is from Mario Kart 8, right?
I think so.
Yeah, because it has the figure 8 design, and then we see the world map here, and we could see DK. What do I want to call it? I gotta get used to saying DK Spaceport. I keep wanting to say DK Pass, and we can see the wings that come out. We're seeing a lot more mechanics. This is Wario Stadium.
I
a lot more
like how animated the karts are now. Like how the tires kind of like squeeze and kind of like flex and stuff like that.
It seems like there's a lot of like physics based. Also, this where. They designed, whoever worked on that Mario sports game designed a horse that after this point, every equine just looks like that. So if you see a zebra, it's just going to look like the horse from Mario Sports Mix for the 3DS. That was, is that
the, I forget what I forget what it's called, but it's
Airship Fortress. Oh wait, no, hold on.
San Francisco, the Airship Fortress.
I think this is Airship Fortress DS. But there was one we missed, I'm pretty sure. It says here in my notes that Choco Mountain... Oh, that may have been Choco Mountain, actually. That I just saw with the charging chucks. Yeah, I think this is what this is. This is Choco Mountain N64.
Looks like it, because I'm seeing the boulders.
Yeah, so
yeah, I mean, they're really spicing up some of the, maps, because, Choco Mountain didn't have the charging chucks.
For better or for worse, it seems like all these levels have a lot more NPCs and hazards. Like, there's a lot running around, which I think makes the open world feel more open. Like, there's Koopas and cars. There seems to be cars everywhere. But these are the segments of driving in between. This is Boo in his very fancy outfit. And in the direct right now, we're not listening to it or the ad. It's explaining that real-world day-night cycles and weather effects are implemented in this game. Now, when I first heard this, I assumed that meant that, like, whatever the weather in real life, like, whatever the current weather is, it will affect how it is in-game. I don't know if the Switch can, the Switch 2 can track that.
I doubt it. The Wii could with the Weather Channel.
Right. It seems, unless there's something we don't know about it, but it seems like the weather changes are just going to be situational.
Yeah, that's what I assume.
We're learning, but the time of day makes sense. It can obviously track the time of day. But what they're explaining here is the mechanic of driving between tracks. So the first lap of a second track, if you're doing Grand Prix, will be you driving from one course to another. Yeah, drive virtually everywhere. This is explaining the open world area. Or sorry, it's explaining the Grand Prix, actually. This is the Mushroom Cup. We have Mushroom Cup, Fire Flower, Star Cup, Shell Cup, Banana Cup, Leaf Cup, and the Lightning Cup. Can I full screen that to show? You can kind of see them in the corners. And
I guess I didn't do the math, but yeah, that's only 7 cups.
We do see more, and we saw more in... which one was it? In this one, we see Double Cherry, we see Spiny. I think there's going to be a lot more because the world is already bigger. But we could see the Mushroom Cup here is Mario Bros. Circuit, Crown City, Whistletop Summit, and DK Spaceport, which are the levels we talked about previous. And I like that there's a connective tissue between them.
Yeah.
Race through 4 courses in a
And then, oh, sorry, it's actually going to show them to us. We should.
So they kind of mix in the retro tracks with the new tracks then.
Yeah, the Fireflower course is. Did we mention? I don't think
Or
we
maybe
saw
not.
any footage of Desert Hills, but that is when we
Is
have. We
Desert
didn't know
Hills
about.
a new track?
It might be. So we have Desert Hills. I'll make a
'Cause
little.
the other three in the Fire Cup or the Fireflower Cup
Mhm.
are old retro stages.
Yeah, Shy Guy Bazaar,
tracks.
Wario Stadium, and Airship Fortress. Let's see if we see any of the courses that were not leaked, but then yeah, these are the more snowy area: DK Pass, Starview Peak, Sky High Sunday, and Wario Shipyard. I don't think we saw any footage of Sky High Sunday, but I think that's a Mario Kart Tour course.
Desert Hills is a Mario Kart DS course.
Okay.
Actually, go back to the Fire Cup then. Go back to the Fire Cup. Sorry.
Yep. No, you're good. This is why we're here.
Yeah, right. Okay, because when you think, trying to think, like, because Desert Hills is a DS course, Airship Fortress is a DS course. Is that Wario Stadium from 64 or is it?
I would assume so, like Wario Stadium N64.
Okay, and then Shy Guy Bazaar is 3DS, right?
Yeah, because they're not doing the little brackets
Okay.
anymore where it says what the game is from. It's
wish
kind of
they
just like
did.
soft reboot. Yeah.
But
I guess it's like, yeah, soft reboot. DK Pass, Starview Peak. I think we did see footage of that. Maybe that was like the more icicle, or we just saw it in the background. Is a new course. Wario Shipyard is that new or is that 3DS? Wario Shipyard is 3DS. I'm pretty sure Sky High Sunday is from Mario Kart Tour. The Tour courses, I don't know nearly as much. Koopa
Yeah.
Troopa Beach, Faraway Oasis, Crown City, and Peach Stadium. So it ends in the Mario Kart 8 course, which happens at Princess Peach's castle. I hope we can drive around there like you could in Mario Kart 64. To have more graffiti. So we've seen 3 cups there, and we could see Wario, and I guess there's gonna be like different cultural garb. I don't know enough to know if these are like proper representations or not.
no,
Not a
probably
very
not.
worldly, probably not. But
Well, maybe, I don't know.
I guess it depends. It's not really up to me to be offended on people's behalfs. If somebody says something, I'm gonna sit my white ass down and listen. They're probably right, but to each their own. And what it's explaining here is that the first lap, these are different courses. These might have more courses. No, these are still 4. Where this is the Golden Mushroom Cup, which is. Oh wait, hold on.
They have Animal Kingdom. Look, it's Animal Kingdom.
Which one's Animal Kingdom?
Not right. No, I'm making a joke. I'm making
Oh,
a joke.
from
Animal Kingdom
Disney?
is like that big tree.
I
Actually,
have
did
a
you go
name
back
for
to
this one.
To the Moo Meadows kind of like
This
frame
one?
shout we got. Yeah.
Hold on.
Because I kind of want to
Wait.
see it again.
Yeah, Moo Moo Meadows. I'm gonna figure out
I'm
where
not
these
thrilled about this. I'm not thrilled about how this looks, to be honest.
That it looks like there's a lot of
There's
people
too many
set up.
set pieces. It's like, yeah, I think I would have preferred. I guess I don't know what the theme of the game is, but that giant cow statue. I don't know if I like that. I feel like I hope that's not too common of a habit. With
It's
a lot
too
of
on the
courses,
nose.
especially
Let me
the
look
retro
up. Wait,
courses.
you keep saying stuff about Moo Moo Meadows because I'm gonna find.
Yeah, I
what
guess I kind of like certain courses seeming like just small little raceways in the middle of nowhere. As opposed to having them to be developed with all the kind of cheering contestants and like giant freaking cow statue. I guess they're kind of trying to take advantage of the setting to kind of make everything take place on top of like barn buildings and stuff. But I don't know. I also don't like get this whole like fire pattern they're doing. I don't know. I think I would have designed that differently if it was up to me.
Well, I guess the
I
difference
feel
is
like
that like it's not in a little cart; it's specifically on a bike, and this seems like a biker raceway. It seems more like Excite Bike a little bit.
Yeah, I think I would still prefer if they just like didn't add all that
Yeah,
stuff.
I'm pretty sure all of these. These all seem like new courses to me. I could be wrong, but
It's hard to tell.
yeah, at where we are now. But this is what the direct is saying. See again, more hazards just on the course. This is the knockout mode where after
I'm
every
excited for that.
if you're not in the top 8 you get eliminated, and then we learn more about it in the treehouse. We're just trying to get through this footage right now. Do I have more notes about the direct trailer specifically? Let me check. It's just saying that you can free roam multiple checkpoints along the way where it comes to racing between tracks. And again, I keep saying this, but we will see more about that when it comes to the treehouse later. But there's camels. It really depends on how you feel about one of the laps being the race between courses. It seems like less that there are 4 unique courses and more that the cup itself is just multiple laps together. Granted, there are loading screens between.
How many laps you do on the individual courses then? Is it just one?
It varies. In the first treehouse footage, we see that DK Star Port has 8 laps. So I think it depends
Oh,
from
I think
game
that's a
to game.
section track though. I'm pretty sure because I think I remember watching footage, and every single time they kind of made it up a new kind of incline, they technically like increased the lap.
There will be a Mario Kart
I
World
think it's
Direct
different depending on the.
on April 17th. The Monday, well, we won't be able to watch it this day, but also the Monday following this, I think we're both going to be busy. So I think if this is the 17th is, I imagine, a Saturday, maybe I think it's a Thursday. So instead of streaming this podcast on the 21st, we're going to have a Super Tuesday episode on the 22nd. Ooh, maybe. Well, yeah. Nighttime, yeah, I can swing that. It might be a little later, but there's a very important thing I got to film. But don't worry, it will be done. If we could do Super Tuesday episode. We'll understand more when we get closer to the date. If worst comes to worst, we just do a Super Wednesday episode. Who cares? And we still do not know, well, at least in this trailer, they still do not show us the price point. We found out later that it's $80. At least it was before they had to pull out due to, tariffs might change all that. But there might be something in the direct that makes it worth 80. I imagine we're going to learn more, but this is a lot of information about a game. I don't know what they're going to show off in the direct. It's got to be like entirely different because we saw this footage now.
They're probably going to really give us a lot of information about, individual courses.
Yeah, for the average person that doesn't watch the Treehouse, you don't really need to watch the Treehouse.
Talking about power-ups, I wouldn't be surprised.
Well, I'm glad we're doing this now.
Collect all these costumes.
Right, oh God, where we're going over all the items and courses now. I'm just trying to get us as caught up as we can. See, all the work we're doing now, by that direct is going to be null and void, but this guy stole all of this guy's hair. He siphoned it all from him. I don't know who these people are. They're probably, like, fine people. I don't know how you get this Treehouse job, but I think we got to get in there. Okay, so here we see the character select screen.
This is one of the things I wanted to complain about.
Yeah, the little dancing characters.
That's one of the things I want to just like celebrate.
Right. But in this Treehouse footage, we only see this first page. But they say there's 7 pages, or we see 7 pages down here.
I think people did the math. Of people going through the other pages.
Yeah, I'm going to hop to that in a sec. So there's 4, 8, 12 here. So they said 7 times 12, that's 84 characters. I don't know if they say that, but that's just the math. See, this is the more chunkier Toad I was talking about.
I love it. And
we can get more, once they move past this, we could talk about carts. I'm glad Koopa made it to the main. It's crazy that he's here. There are other characters that are not on this board.
From this cast. Of these 12, I feel like there's someone missing.
Donkey Kong is on the second page, or the third page? Yeah.
I'm thinking of the 12
look at Mario's little dance. Characters. I'm glad they're making him shorter and shorter as well.
Yeah, it's a little stubby little.
Yeah, short king. What I wanted to say earlier is this is grasping at straws. This is crumbs. This is not representation. But I remember in the GameCube and Wii era, they really took away Daisy's tan from her, and they just made her more of a dress swap of Peach. Where I'm glad that she's getting her tan back a little bit. That was originally there in the N64 games. So if we hop ahead real quick, this is footage by Mikeman Plays of the entire character select screen. Now, we saw a lot of different characters in that direct and a lot of different characters in the footage. And they said 84 characters, which about lines up with the amount of characters we saw. And we saw that a lot of the characters we know we can play as, or we saw racing. I like how Donkey Kong looks here. This is the baby. I guess he's in charge of the babies now.
I love how so many characters get to hang out with their counterpart, but Toadette gets relegated.
Yeah.
The second page.
Keep pushing her. Okay, here's where we get to it, right? And then we have these 6 here.
Makes me mad.
From this, well, I think there might be a reason. From this onward, as you can see, these are more characters we saw in the courses, but there seem to be a lot of tertiary enemy characters that we saw that are missing. And the rest of these playable slots seem like just costumes for there's the one we were talking about.
Also, it's like a walking animation for the cow.
This Daisy one.
Yeah.
The dress like a cartoon. All these different costumes for characters that are in the first 3 pages, and the rest of the pages. Well, the demo only has 5 pages. These are just costumes, right? So the characters that have been spotted as playable, or that at least are on carts in the direct, that are not playable here. Cataquack, Charge and Chuck, Cheep, Coin Coffer, Cockdor, Dolphin, Fishbone, Monty Mole, Parabitty Buddy, Peepa, Penguin, Pianta, Piranha Plant, Pokey, Rocky Wrenches, Sidestepper, Snowman, Spike, Stingbee, Swoop. Now, all of those characters are missing from this character
I
select
know all
screen.
those characters. I know the names of every Mario enemy.
You got the Mario autism. I like this Super Smash Bros. Brawl Wario fit. I'm glad they made the Waluigi's mariachi thing real. But I saw that at first, and I think we get more into it in the treehouse itself. We can jump back now that we know the rest of the character select screen. But while they're going in the background, is this what I was looking for? Yeah, this is again by the I'm gonna pause this now. By the French account the French account I was referring to. It says the situation is a little confusing, but it seems that one of Kamek's spells is turning all the other pilots into Goombas. So we see footage here going in reverse.
Mario Bros. 1? What?
Of getting the Kamek item, and then a little green orb shows up, kind of like the Wonder Seeds, and turns Pauline into a Goomba. And I think we see more of this later. Yeah, this is from Using Yoshi. The effect of Kamek's item has been revealed. It seems to be that it temporarily changes him into another character. So he's playing as Mario, gets hit by the purple, and then becomes Nabbit. Now, when I first saw this, my first assumption was, oh shit, the characters we saw aren't actually going to be playable. You can only turn into them. However, then I considered that when Smash had a playable demo at E3 and around different Best Buys, they didn't have all the characters on the roster. So I think that the tertiary enemies are either characters you unlock in the game, or they're just held out of the demo for now. So you can only play as certain characters.
Yeah, that's what I was guessing. I assumed they weren't going to make us let us play all the characters in one go.
Right.
And I'm kind of hoping, because I like when they drip feed like new information about characters, or like put in a few as a surprise.
Well, that's the thing, is we see them all here. We see Cheep Cheep,
you're
we see
seeing,
Sting
it's
Bee.
like, no one's turned.
Parabitty Buddy.
Cheep Cheep yet.
And I was worried, like,
Parabitty Buddy?
Yeah, there's Parabitty Buddy, there's Goomba. Can see them more in 4K. I like the font, too, the little paint. That's my fucking font color of choice. But what I have here... Well, now I need to, like, really... Oh, sorry, we didn't even mention the... Let's go back to the character select screen for a second. I let it run in the background. I think we have the same opinion on this. It's maybe a terse opinion, but... I much prefer preset karts and bikes over the customization that we have been stuck with since Mario Kart 8.
I hope I don't... That's 7, but yeah.
Oh, that's
I
true.
hope I don't get in trouble, but I'm not... language alert.
Okay.
Fuck Mario Kart customization. I hate
Fuck
it. I
you.
hate it. I hate... No, I just hate, like... I just do not like the... I feel like the karts look so much better. First of all, because you don't have to put like stupid boo-boo ass kind of like customization combinations for the stats you want. First of all, but also I just think when they're all part of a cohesive design together, it just looks better most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
I think when the wheels and when the wheels are kind of made with the body in mind, everything just looks kind of nicer. I miss a lot of the old school kind of kart designs because they were made with they were all made as a singular piece. So I don't know. I mean, I also just think like the karts just kind of don't look that good to me in 8 specifically. I think I like the karts in, for example, Wii a lot more, DS a lot more, definitely Double Dash a lot more.
I like
so,
the presets, yeah.
I just think it's totally something I am more than willing to let go of. And
I think
also I hate gliders. I got
well,
sick of
those are
gliders.
gone. But my issue with the customization is it doesn't really allow for creative, bombastic karts. Like, you see the Parabitty Buddy one here, where it's like a little baby cart. Baby carriage. And also my favorite is it the Wario or DK one in Mario Kart DS, where it's just, not a bulldozer, but the crane? Is it a bulldozer?
The Waluigi crane.
Yeah.
Oh, it takes me back. Just
We
these
only see
stupid
this
cards.
page. I
love
imagine
it.
we could see more pages when it comes to the demo, but it seems like there's only 2 pages anyway. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So there's 24 racers in each course. That's like the major change, or what was shown off early on that people...
I didn't notice, but the simpler stats is interesting. That might be something I'm like kind of not
See,
sure
that's the thing, is I never really fucked with the stats anyway, so I just care about the designs, and I like the designs. I like the little cart. And I imagine these are selections for Mario, and if you pick a different character, all of these will be slightly changed a little bit. So I wouldn't mind there being only 2. We can see also, this is still, I mean, they're playing on a played version of this game.
Actually, wait, go back like 5 seconds. Sorry.
You're good. To the
back
carts?
to the select cart select.
Yeah.
Okay, so there still is weight. For a second, I was wondering if weight was gone. So I'm curious if there's still going to be distinct weight classes. I think they're probably still going to have
Probably.
that.
Because that's been around
But
since,
yeah, I feel like
what,
it's
Double Dash?
basically Double Dash, basically. Yeah.
Yeah, so what we're looking at here, I would just put it's not really an important detail. We would assume it's coming back, but we can see the little stars next to the cups down here as well. So there's different for how if you come in first in all the races, so on and so forth. So these are the opening 7 cups. I mean, if they each have 4, so that's 4, 8, 16, 20, 24, 30. No, 20. Sorry, 4, 6. Whoa, 4, 8, 16, 20, 24, 28. I don't know what I was on just then. And we have the normal cups as well. But I think there's more that we're going to be unlocked. Or maybe there's some that are like online exclusive, I think, maybe. We're starting with Mario Bros. Circuit. We have that little loaded screen. I like this too. I don't remember if this was always a part of it, but the little flyover. There's this little flyover animation where it shows all 4 of the courses before the race. Have they done this?
Yeah. No, I don't think they have for like all 4 courses before anything starts. I don't think they've done it before.
I like being able to see it. And although there are loading screens in between the races, it makes it feel like one giant race as opposed to 4 distinct ones. For better or for worse. It really depends on how you feel about that. And we see a bunch of new characters here. We also see specifically a yellow Yoshi, but I think he has a hat on, so I think the costumes are also like their the costumes can change the skins, or at least it will for Yoshi and I imagine Shy Guy.
Probably Shy Guy too.
We're going to go through individual items as they show up. It's going to be very basic. We see the Super Mushroom. Editor, show the Super Mushroom item.
Oh yeah, show the super.
I'm gonna do this for all of them.
Like
you keep talking.
Paragoombas and Paratroopas, Paratroopa. Yeah, I wonder if those would be if they're considering adding those. If those would be like separate skins or just
Bob-omb. Okay, so they kind of mention it here. We might see a little bit with the item after. But I don't know if you saw this in the treehouse. It's only there for a frame. But as you know in Mario Kart, if you have an item here, you can hold down the trigger to hold it behind you. But apparently, what they say in the treehouse, and what I've heard, is that once you get this item, it automatically holds behind you. You don't need to hold the trigger anymore to keep it behind you. But it also means, well, no, it just means you're always holding it behind you, and you're always using it as a code, which I think mechanically changes the game entirely. Of course, it kind of fucked this guy over. Oh, I guess the bomb didn't explode him. Normally,
yeah, I guess to balance that out, they removed like bomb like self harm because I mean,
normally,
I think if
this wouldn't go frame by frame here.
Have,
yeah, there we go.
I think if you have the bomb behind you, always that's dangerous to yourself in the game. So I think they just got rid of the self-damaging element of it because historically you can mess yourself up with your own power-ups. They might actually take that out. I wouldn't be surprised they do the same thing with Koopa shells.
I'll move you for a second, but also this course has 3 laps, and it also he has 6 coins right now. I'm gonna move you right to me real quick because that is gonna be important as we go through this video. This is the first treehouse. Then he gets a coin.
Oh my God, the coins confirmed.
You could also see this this gold shell. This is a coin shell, a new item. You can show it on screen that leaves coins in its wake, and I imagine also still works as a normal shell. You can if I can go back a little bit, you'll see it. Course by them. You can see it in the background with the warning, and then it goes by. It doesn't bump into any of them. I imagine it still does damage, but it leaves a ton of coins behind. And you could also see here, as he collects them, that it did not stop at 10. He is now at 16 coins. And now he's at 18. Use his own coin item, use the bomb. I kind of don't like the coin. I don't mind the coins in the game. I don't like the coin item because if you're in first place, you only ever get the coin. All right, there's a banana as well, yet to use it. But that's where we are. That's a totally new item. It seems that coins are... the difference is now it just goes up to 20. We'll see them max out at 20 at some point. We can also see here, they don't mention it, but I think mechanically it's important. The way that this red shell sort of, if I can get to that point, magnetizes, like sticks to this rail, where it's on this rail. It's following this path. So the rails are probably treated as individual roads that if you're down here, you wouldn't be hit by the red shell. Or if you're up here and it was down here, you wouldn't be hit by a red shell. This red shell goes past both of these characters, or maybe it goes past Mario and then immediately goes left and hits DK. So I think it's just if you are in the path of it once it takes that pull. I just think it's interesting in general that the items will stick to the grinded rails like this. And you could jump off the walls.
Yeah.
Some mechanics shown off in the direct.
I love the colors of the first place icon.
Yeah. Oh, we're covering it again. We gotta make ourselves smaller in the long run. But yeah, that's there. I'm gonna put you back. Well, I'll put you like, you know what? Let's move ourselves a little bit in the middle. This is probably good. This way we're not covering any UI. At least not any major ones. The Boo item takes the Bob-omb. He's still got the banana. A lot of these are items that we're familiar with, but still show them on screen because why not?
Yeah, I don't think they're actually adding. I mean, I don't think the Mega Mushroom was in what's it called, in Mario Kart 8, was it?
It wasn't in 7 either, no. But we do get this
so
feather
they're
item
bringing
that
the
I think
flower.
hasn't been in since.
Feather.
Okay, we can
It was
see
an
all.
8 for battle mode.
Maybe we could see that the coins max out at 20, and we also see that there is no longer a hang glider, like an item above you. You could also do tricks in the air, but there's wings. Wait, there's wings here. I imagine it works like a glider. It seems like you can go a little bit more up. The wings have their own hitbox from what it seems like. That's the end of lap 2. I don't. Does the feather item just make you jump?
I think it just gives you a small little boost. I mean, it was in Super Mario Kart. Might have been in the GBA Mario Kart. I forget.
Oh, that makes sense.
It was also brought back for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe's battle mode. I'm actually curious if this game has a battle mode. I'm honestly not really hoping on it, or not really.
There is some stuff hinting towards it later, but where we're on this rail, you can see him kind of going back and forth like he's drifting, and this flame goes from blue to red or to orange maybe, and then it goes to like both of those combined. So it seems like you get a boost by grinding the rail a specific way, and there's different levels to it like there is for drifting. And yeah, you get a little boost after if you jump off.
Now let's see the boost. Okay, so blue, red.
Oh yeah, this too.
That actually surprised me. That's a very flashy freaking
that animation.
Wow. That lightning animation. It's a lot more cartoony than.
You'll also notice here that when the animation happens, or after the animation happens, it starts raining on the course. So I think maybe that's what they meant by like weather changes. Whereas opposed to like reading what the weather is, like checking out the news and seeing what weather it is, because nowadays weather drastically changes day to day. There's no real way to track it. You could track it, but it's a nightmare. Anyway, it doesn't seem to rain for a while. Like it seems like it immediately goes away. So again, I don't know what the weather conditions could be. They might just be like Pokemon where it's random, but it also seems like, at least for a little bit, the lightning item causes rain. At least for a little.
I think they do. Yeah. I wonder if that crown's always going to be on when you're in first place.
Let's find out. Because I got to go to the next course. I think I had the same question. I just never remembered if it stays on or not because I always forget to like write it down again. Just want to make sure I'm on the right place. Okay, that was the weather conditions thing. Yeah, it shows you.
I guess they need to load everything in.
Okay, it doesn't have the crown
from the same race that you were just in.
This was the thing we were talking about in the direct, where this part is carted off, where it's normally part of the course. But this second half, or the second part rather, of the race, of the Grand Prix, you are now racing from the first course to the second, and there is still a lap counter down there. So this in between is not even like either of these courses. It's kind of its own thing. It is not Farview Oasis or Mario Bros. Circuit. It's just the point in between. And it seems like a big mechanic of this game is racing between the courses. And also, like, when the animation plays before you do the 1, 2, 3 boost, seems to already have you in your positions you came in the previous race. Make sure
one thing that I really like is, I'm not sure, maybe I'm wrong, I could be wrong, but I think there are a lot more unique animations playing when you get hurt in this game. I think historically,
yes,
like whether you kind of hit with a shell or hit with lightning or whatever, you always would do a little spin thing, and I'm seeing that there's tons of different animations now, and that's something I think is really really cute, really fun.
So here, before the lights appear, obviously the characters aren't playing, but they automatically turn to like lock onto the course to make it feel more like you're racing between. And he fucked up his boost. Nice going. This guy thinks he's on the treehouse. Also, there's a little ramp here so you can grind the rail of the power lines. Just waiting.
Oh, there's the burger place from the initial trailer, I think.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Or I think we may have just passed it, but yeah, it was a yellow food bag. Oh, and I think that Goomba got a little, it got aggro by noticing you. Like, this one spawns, and then a little exclamation mark appears, and then it goes after you. I think there are just more hazards on the stage. So how do you feel about this, about the mechanic of racing between courses?
I think it's fun. I mean, I think a little bit of the magic that could be there isn't there just because you have to load everything in. It's not actually a problem. I understand that they probably had to do that, and the loading times look pretty bearable. But I guess it's like it's kind of I don't know. It'd be so cool if it really was all seamless. But that being said, it looks really fun.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but this is a bully, right?
Bully. It's a bully.
Yeah, okay, bully. Honestly, I like how the map is, it also gets aggro. It's just a straightaway. I like how there's little gas stations. I remember when we just saw the original glimpse of the Switch, people thought that you would have to, like, stop and do pit stops, which I think is a fun mechanic idea, but I wouldn't want to slow down Mario Kart. We see the green shell. The green shell item is in the game. And the blue shell. Yeah, there is cool texturing on the... It's like Chowder, where the texture is always moving. So my thing here, right, is I think I'll grow used to it. But this is still the path between courses. And now the course begins, but now we're in lap 2 of 3.
Yeah.
And
that's what I was kind of confused about, a lot of the logistics of how that worked. But I guess you just kind of... The course, you just do 2 laps instead.
It seems like the idea of playing individual courses online, like when you play online in Mario Kart 8, you could just like, oh, I want to go to Baby Park or whatever. Maybe that's a bad example because that's isolated, but you could also do... Oh, never mind. I'm waiting for it to show up. That now if you just pick I don't know if you can pick these individual courses, or maybe if you do, it just starts you at... Because the thinking is like, oh man, this is one less lap. But if you think about it, the drive there is the first lap. Well, the first lap and a half, because it seems like when this map changes, it'll be different. Okay, he's got a coin.
And
he's
it probably is better, honestly, to have something like that, because if you're asking for 3 laps on every race, and on top of the moving between each track, I think that probably gets a little bit much. I mean, I think Grand Prix are best when they're like maybe like 15 minutes. So adding what would probably amount to an extra 5 or 10 minutes, I think that might be a little bit much.
Yeah,
so
I heard like
I think altogether,
on average something was about 10, but I've seen a lot of Sonic fans. I don't know why they keep poking the bear. They keep doing this to themselves. I don't even dislike Sonic games, but like no fucking way, man. Sonic Kart game is coming out the same year as this, and it'll be a cheaper alternative, but it's not going to be nearly as good as this. The only reason I bring that up is because this year is that you could do multiple tricks in the air. Like, he just did 2 there. I imagine it just, like, flicking the stick. Oh, wait, let's see. Yeah, 1, 2. That's 2 right there. And now we're on the 3rd lap. You could do that in Mario Kart Wii with the bikes, but it seems now like they're more emote-focused. You can see Pianta's up there, which was one of the Crossworlds, Sonic... Oh, my God. Is it just Sonic Racers? Sonic Team Racing Crossworlds
I forget.
Is just entirely different mechanically from this. And, you know, with 2 cakes, you can get both. I can understand why... That's also a drone we saw earlier in one of the course preview thumbnails, doing tricks Jet Set style, yeah. Listen, maybe the new Sonic racing game will sell a bajillion copies if they add the character from Jet Set Radio. But who's to say? They gotta add more Sega in there. Again, I'm not anti-Sonic, but I think comparing themselves to Mario is like... You're just gonna get your feelings hurt, you know? Yeah, the map has changed. Now that we're on lap 3... I guess that's interesting that within the laps, or within the course, that the map can change. And I wonder if there are characters that are, like, still far behind, if you would see them on a previous map. Okay, the blue shell here is interesting. It gets you in the air, and he did a trick in the air. When Mario gets hit by this blue shell, he lands on his head. It seems like a lot more of the movement in this game is physics-focused, because obviously this wouldn't happen in any other Mario Kart game. And then when he comes back to his senses, he flips back over. I don't know if being on your head would, like, slow you down more than not, but that's the second course.
Probably kill you, to be honest.
In real, yeah, if you just drag your scalp across the pavement.
Landed perfectly.
Or I just mean, like, from an in-game mechanic, I don't know if, like, oh, maybe if you accidentally flip over, it takes you a little bit longer to get up. Like, maybe a frame or a handful.
Maybe. That's
the mechanics between the courses. I don't... Like, ultimately, we can't really know until we play the game, and we were not invited, obviously. But what we're going... I need Sonic fans to not have opinions on anything, because if they're bad, it brings us down more, even if it's not Sonic-related. I don't know if you don't have to have opinions on anything. Like, you could be excited about a game. I don't know why they're so combative, though, where it's like... It's not enough that their game can be good. It's that it has to be better than other stuff. We see here early on in this race in between, again, this is 3 laps... Collects it does a little smiley face. You get the food bag, and I think it might be location-based, because it seems like maybe this could be a demo thing, but I think it might just be, like, depending on what course you are, you can only get certain foods. And Mario here gets the burger, because on the burger, only on the burger path, and he's holding it behind him. I don't know what holding it behind you would do unless like someone else can steal it, but Peach and Bowser Jr. just ran through it and they didn't take it. I like this more city-based one. This is Crown City. And then, yeah, it changes the costume. You eat the food and it changes the costume. I gotta move you again, man. We're nowhere where we need to be. You can see the little exclamation mark next to the costume, which I imagine it means, like, any video game you play and there's a red exclamation mark next to it, it means it's new. It means it's something that hasn't been read. So I think the way you unlock costumes, I don't know if the costumes on the character select screen are just a demo thing. I would have to assume they are. And if you want to do other costumes, they might be within sub-menus of your character. And maybe all the, like, characters will be playable from the jump, but if you want additional costumes, you have to play the game to unlock them. I would be fine with that, because I like the fun of unlocking characters, but I understand why when you get the game day one, this is Whistleblow Summit, or Whistleblow something, why you would want to have all the characters at launch. And I remember this was an argument when it came to that. Will probably boost you up there. When it came to like Smash Bros, it's like, man, I don't want to unlock all these characters because I want to play online day one. But I think that unlocking the characters is part of the fun of a new Smash game.
No, same. I'm big on unlocking characters. That's part of why I like Mario Kart Wii so much, because you really have to fight for the characters. And I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I had Galaxy on my save file, so I never had to go through the. What do you have to do to unlock Rosalina? Yeah.
You just have to have Galaxy on your save file. But anyways,
well, no, there's another way if you don't have Galaxy, and it's like beating the mirror cup with every character. It's something that I really didn't want to do. Gets hit by the hammer, by the hammer, bro.
Rosalina. That's how you get Rosalina in without Galaxy.
Mm-hmm. We see more. Oh, we did see a triple green shell as well, which is an item. If you didn't know. And then we see more destructible hazards. At least the railway, the little ticker tape, and the hammer bro threw the hammer on the character. Talking about the coins right now, which I already have, but I think if we could see here a mechanical difference, not a mechanical difference per se, but just like something you noticed. And now I think most of that was Whistleblow Summit. I used to, before I was watching back this footage, I'm like, man, I don't know if I like the idea of one of the laps being taken up by the, going around him by grinding the rails. There's multiple options. One of the laps being taken up by driving between the courses. But now I don't mind it as much because it is just the beginning of the course. Like, it's kind of a negligible difference to me. But I can imagine why people would feel differently. These are changes that, when you haven't played the game, feel so different, as it is with any... That's a crazy move. This is what I like about the open worldness of the game. I believe it will give you more options and more platforming options when it comes to racing on these courses, because obviously you need a big explorable area, and some areas are carted off when it comes to the races. But what they did there, Mario and DK, where they were both taking entirely different paths, I think is interesting from a mechanical standpoint. But I feel like most of the stuff, no, go ahead.
I think one of my big concerns, now that I think about it, about the fact that the first lap is just getting to the next course, is I just think that the open world is cool, but I think the streets to the next area are just, like, thematically and visually less interesting than the courses themselves.
Mm-hmm.
I think because of that, like, I'm not exactly sure how I feel about it. I don't think it's a big deal, but I think, Whistletop Summit is a lot cooler looking than the path you take to get to Whistletop.
Yeah, it's kind of just a road. I did like the path in between these a little bit, because you were driving in more of a city, and maybe we see that more in DK Spaceport. We can see the Daisy Castle up here. That might be Shy Guy Bazaar, or it might be an entirely different Sarasaland-inspired course. Do you have any strong opinions on Super Mario Land? What if we have varying...
Back in the day, all we had were LCD games. Our journeys had a lack of all but travel Scrabble packs. Yes, NES looks best, but to put this one in, what is it? Next game in contest. Yeah. It was a milestone year. Handheld gaming started here.
Right. So, what you're framing? Yeah.
Yeah, is that the state of portable gaming?
Yeah.
What I'm framing is that there's a certain amount of visual and thematic interest in a lot of the courses that we're going to get a little bit less of, because although, I mean, we're seeing it right now, this is pretty, it's cool, I just don't think it's as fun to me as, the cool train level or the cool Donkey Kong spaceport level. So I don't know. I mean, it's definitely, they're definitely designing these in-between tracks with a certain amount of intention. It's not ugly. I mean, there's some cool stuff there, but I think it's just not nearly as fun, I think, to traverse. For me, it probably won't be as fun to traverse as the levels themselves.
Yeah, well, so was the Cotton Gin. All right, he's
I
gonna
wouldn't
grab.
take it with me in the car. Well, you can take this game with you in the car.
Well, you can take it anywhere. I don't know if this. I haven't played 8 in a while, but he uses this coin item and it gives him 3 coins. Or yeah, he had 1 coin and gave him 3. Was that always the case, or is that new?
I don't think that's the case in 8. I think
Okay,
the 8 is 1.
that's good. There's a specific. It explodes
I
up
love
there.
the boom. I
There's
love that.
so. Oh yeah, that's the flavor text. Oh damn, fucking DK spread and crazy style. The bomb.
I
Yeah.
wonder why we haven't seen it yet. I feel like we've seen bombs go off. Maybe it's because we didn't see it like that far away.
I
or
think
something.
if you can't see it if it hits your character and the other characters were behind him, so I think, or maybe it does appear, it was behind you. But because this character, like you were saying, is so far ahead, we can see the flavor text. And it seems like most items have different flavor text, but I appreciate the 3 O's and boom is crazy work. I'm sorry your Donkey Kong exploded. I'm gonna give you 5 big booms. Yeah, and then there's cars driving on the road. I like this in between, sort of. There's a Koopa, or not a Koopa shoe, but there's a Goomba in a Koopa shoe. I think that's my issue, if there were any, is that there seems to be a lot of hazards on these courses. And those were always my least favorite courses in Mario Kart, where there were, like, other shit on the road.
It depends for me.
Mm-hmm.
Also,
we can
like,
see...
I think, for example, a lot of the courses where a big part of it is, like, big ass cars that you have to, like, avoid. I like those.
Red
but,
shell.
like, often, I don't know, just, like, small things that kind of run in your way. I'm not as big of a fan of, but
yeah.
I don't know.
Also,
That's the hamburger
we're
item.
now getting... This is the thing that, like, this is more what I wanted along the lines. Now we're at DK Spaceport. Like, this is the spaceport, and we're on lap 2 of 8. So maybe the final course in each Grand Prix has more laps, or maybe it just depends on an individual. I would imagine if they're longer courses, they would save them for the end, but Spaceport.
Cut out for a second.
Oh, we just have 5 laps of just DK Spaceport now.
Yeah, but there's sections. There's sections, to be fair.
Mhm.
So what we're getting is, I think you just climb up to the end of the spaceport. Because now we're on lap 3, I think.
Right.
I really like the Robo DK. And yeah, this is probably a one-way course because they have that basic boss or whatever. So I assume it's...
I'm wondering
not
what
gonna be a
happens
thing
up
you
here.
do
Yeah, if it just loops back around.
Okay,
Also,
so this is lap 4. or
Yeah,
section
that
4.
Robo DK is an entirely new character. I like the barrel gimmick too. It seems more and more like, although it's so, the more time passes, the more strange it is that they even release DK Country Returns HD. Because it seems more and more like they're trying to, and see, he landed on his front there,
Kind of
and I don't know if
reimagined
it had
kind
any
of-
like input differences, but it seems like they're trying to
I'm
go
gonna
back
assume
to
it
like,
doesn't-
go ahead.
I'm gonna assume it doesn't have much of an input difference on how fast you're going. I think it's more just for visual flair.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, it seems like they're trying to reunite Donkey Kong with the Mario property as a whole.
Yeah.
Like, you know how like Smash Bros, they're kind of considered separate series, but like not really, or kind of. I mean, I mean, especially because I assume Donkey Kong Bonanza, if we don't already know, is being just like developed by like core Nintendo developers.
Mm-hmm.
It seems that they're kind of trying to take Donkey Kong back or whatever. Which
Well,
is
that's what I was
interesting.
gonna say. Is it's less about like, oh, let's absorb country Donkey Kong into Mario. That it seems like a lot of what they're focusing on when they're trying to bring people back to DK. Because although like I think we're underselling how popular the Donkey Kong Country games were, because I think
You're
they did
underselling.
sell really well. But
Yeah.
also like for the average layman, they hear Donkey Kong and they think of 75M. So I think that's
Yeah.
what they're harnessing here a little bit. I don't... Oh, he blocked the red shell with the green shell, or rather vice versa. And the lightning bolt, which we saw... Yeah, it's raining here now because of the lightning bolt. I don't know for how long. It seems like this rain might...
Let's see if it's
Yeah.
goes away.
Oh, no, the end of the course is the end of this... Okay, so this is a straightaway. I don't know if we've seen
Yeah.
any courses that loop
Saying
yet.
that. Oh, I thought the first.
Did
one
they just
looped.
fall off? Okay, now they just glide
Just
down.
fly off.
That's kind of cool. I also like the, if we get to see it, the I'm gonna skip
Dude,
ahead because there's...
I'm kind of worried we might not get like Diddy Kong in this game.
That's
something-
what I
think
was
that's
gonna
another thing I
say
noticed.
as well, is like, because they're trying to rebrand Donkey Kong, the lack of Diddy in this game, the lack of Diddy in that game, even though Diddy Kong did get a new design for the movie, but I think there's a chance there's no Diddy Kong. I like his one tooth. I like this. I think maybe I just haven't noticed like really small. I'm sad for no Monty Mole. Monty Mole is in the game. It just wasn't on the character select screen. So I imagine you can play as him in base game, or at least unlock him. I like these little animations. I know they
Donkey
used to
Kong
do
looks
it a
great.
lot. Did they do this in Mario Kart 8? The
They
zoom in of
did,
the
but
top
maybe
three?
not.
I guess I haven't come on the top
Oh, maybe
three.
not. No, I don't think so. I don't think so.
Yeah.
Zoom in. I don't think they did anything like that.
I need Monty Mole. I hope you mean as a playable character. Otherwise, we're gonna have some words. And that is the... We don't see it. They say it out loud. Like we don't see the transitional period, but he says here you press the plus button to go into free roam. We don't see it because they were covering it, but now you're in free roam. I don't know when you hit the plus button, but it seems like the time of day has shifted, and maybe the weather has as well. I kind of like the headlights too, where when it's shadowy, or like obviously that's a generic mechanic. Oh, and it says what course you're on in the top right. It's little details. I think driving around with friends will be fun, but I don't know for how long. I feel like there's got to be stuff to do. But also Mario Kart is Mario Kart. Oh, triple mushroom item. We haven't seen that yet. So this, again, there's only one item or only one food item in the Mario Bros. Circuit level, and it's this little picnic set. Or maybe a lunchbox.
Have we seen... Oh, yeah, we had. Never mind. I was about to ask. Have we seen the bullet bill? But we have.
Well, we have. Yeah, we've seen it, but we haven't seen someone equip it yet. So this, when we're seeing the open map, also, like, this is telling it, this is really helpful. I would have assumed this, but I didn't even think about it. That you can, in fact, if they're going to show it. Okay, they don't. You could fast travel. Also, there's a little map down here. It's just GTA. Anyway, we see this map of characters. And just map of courses in general. And we saw that when he unlocked that one costume in the... maybe in the whistle blow, what's it called? I'm not scrolling all the way up. Whistle something. In the train course that unlocked a Mario costume that it had a little exclamation mark above it. Now, when it hovers over Crown City, I'm going to try and go back after that. And when it hovers, when it hovers over Crown City, you see all of these blank. And maybe it depends on what character you're playing. But also when he opens the map to begin with, and hovers over Mario Bros. Circuit, you see that there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Marios here. 6 of 10 Marios of the 10 courses that have unlocked already. 2 of these seem pretty similar, though, although they are slightly different. I think that maybe one of the benefits of playing open world, and I imagine they're going to talk about this in the direct, is unlocking costumes and unlocking characters. And I imagine that's why the characters are scattered around the map. Maybe it could be like a new form of mission mode, because in the bottom left, there's a P-switch counter, there's a question block counter, there's a coin counter, and I don't know what any of these could mean, but it seems like, what I don't understand is if you're playing as Mario, you would only unlock a costume. Like, you only have the Mario costumes when you're hovering over Mario Bros. Circuit. So maybe every single character in this game has 10 unique costumes for each course. That might be wishful thinking, but like that seems to be where it's leaning. I think it's fun mechanically to go to these places with your friends and hang out and like get a little photo op. But obviously, like the core mechanic is going to be oh, there's Peepa. The core mechanic will be Mario Kart. And Mario Kart is one of those games that like I don't dislike. I love playing it every time, but also like from a mechanical standpoint, it's Mario Kart. I like playing Mario Kart. What character are you maining? Well, I'm loyal to Dry Bones, and I'm glad he is actually on the character select screen. I hate to be generic. I know there's a bunch of new cool characters, but I think I'm a Dry Boner. You know, I said I would stick with Dry Bones. I was worried for a second that he wouldn't be in the game, but I'm glad they made him. What do you think, Switchy?
About Dry Bones or who I'm gonna play?
Who you're gonna play?
Probably Bowser Jr. I mean, Bowser Jr. was like my guy in Mario Sluggers. As you know, with Mario Kart 8 though, I think the character no, Mario Kart 7 I didn't play a lot. I think just for some reason I got hand pain playing that one. Mario Kart 8, I think I usually would play I think Baby Rosalina, but then once Isabelle came out, I kind of like stuck to Isabelle.
That's fair.
But
I will say, like, rip to Isabelle, sure. But before we knew anything about new Mario Kart, I had seen so many like design concepts from YouTubers where it's like add Link and Kirby and Captain Falcon and all that.
I doubted they were gonna do that.
Well, not that I doubted it. I'm glad. Like, sorry to be a hater. I'm glad they didn't, because I much prefer this. I much prefer Mario Kart having a ton of Mario characters. You know, and like once you start adding third parties, it's like, okay, nobody's gonna want Cataquack. They're gonna want fucking Villager. I don't know if this is true. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, Steve. I don't know if this is true for all of the game or just free roam. But when the cart jumps into the water that normally would have killed you on Lakitu, you can see it here. The cart shifts into a water vehicle. It can ride on water. So it seemed like they still have the same mechanics of like underwater vehicle or just maybe on top of water. Maybe underwater is not a fair assessment. And the glider, except they're ever so slightly different. They're not the hang glider and they're not the submarine. Should add a Big the Cat. Yeah, they'll one-up Mario, or not Mario. They'll one-up Sonic Racing Crossroads. That's what it's called, by adding Big the Cat. We're covering it, but also it got a little, if we're going to play this animation, get rid of us for a second. It says down here, you drove 300 kilometers total. It seems like they're...
Natural oil.
Yeah. they're lying. That's not a correct unit of measurement. But it seems like there will be in the overworld, there might be like individual achievements or awards in this game like they had for Mario Wonder, and that's why there were counters in the bottom left. I know Nintendo today said that there would not be console-wide achievements, and that's fine, but I think the individual games might still have them. And of course, now they're showing off the fast travel that you can go to any course. I imagine it's any course that you can unlock.
Yeah, same.
You can see civilians walking around. There's cars driving. There's fucking toads walking in front of the road. It just seems in general like hazards are going to be a bigger part of this. I hope it is like GTA. I hope
I hope you can run into people.
Yeah, I hope the toads are destructible.
Oh, that toad got scared.
That's in Crown City. Shy guy
He's
with
like avoiding them. Like, what are you doing? Like,
these Yoshis are massive. Oh yeah, they don't get hit by a car.
When you get bored while playing Mario Kart and you start actually not killing civilians.
Opposite, huh? What do you mean, huh? you want to kill toads in Mario Kart World?
Dude, I'm pretty tempted to like.
I don't know what item does, or sorry, not what item. What button does it? I don't think they say it, but you can do photo mode at any point. I imagine it's exclusive. You can see Blue Yoshi back there. Shout out Blue Yoshi. I imagine this is exclusive to the free roam mode, which is fine. Like, you wouldn't want to do that. You couldn't do this in the middle of a race anyway. Yeah. And that is the end of this first.
Take a bunch of pictures, like while you're playing with them.
This is the end of this first Treehouse Day. We have more. I don't know how much. This is the Knockout Tour gameplay. And I do think. What do I have for this? Yeah, I do have some notes for this individually. We could speed it up a little bit because we don't have as much to get through. But we've been through the meat. Now we're covering pretty tertiary stuff. More bald guys. If you see a bald guy on this couch, you know he's to be trusted. What do you think?
I'm not trusting the bald guy. Oh my god, bro, they got the coin guy. What's that guy called?
Coin Coffer.
Coin Coffer.
They also what they're saying.
I might play Coin Coffer.
That's that's sick. Is it from 3D World? Did it exist before then? Because I know it's in Odyssey.
I think it might have been in 3, to be honest, like Mario 3, or at least there's like a similar kind of coin enemy. Let me search it up.
But what they're showing here, one, in the voiceover of the Treehouse, they're saying that in this online mode, I don't know if it's in the courses but if they could show it here, they're just focusing on the coin coffer right now. I like this too, that instead of when you're waiting for people to join a course, instead of just being your Mii, and it seems like the Miis are being pushed more and more. However, the Mii menu on the Switch that's like just hidden in the settings is still on the Switch too. We saw that in the Direct. Yeah, they use the second stick to move around. You can move the camera with the second stick, which leads me to believe that this might have more platforming. And also we could see this little Guga down here in the bottom left, that there's the ... above up on the D-pad. I think up on the D-pad might allow you to communicate like you could in Mario Kart 8 with like I'm using tilt controls, or it allows you to do emotes because the baby Daisy here is doing emotes.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, Coin Coffer was from 3D Land. I was mixing it up because there's like a different coin kind of collecting enemy from like 64 and I think a couple other games, but kind of got replaced with the Coin Coffer.
We see. I hope we can get a little closer. We might get closer later, but if I can, this little thing here, this menu, there are options for Grand Prix, Knockout Tour, and some other shit. If you can look really closely, you see that the icon next to Knockout Tour is a balloon. Which leads me to believe that those are the battle mode settings, and that battle mode is, in fact, a part of this game.
Okay, that's chill.
I hope they don't go is it Mario Kart? Yeah, Mario Kart 8 at launch, where it was just the racing courses that you would fight on. But now that the world's open world, what if you could do open world battle mode, and you have to, like, hunt people down, or maybe hide in the city? I think hide and seek will be a bigger mechanic of this game. Like, battle mode would be more defensive.
Yeah, probably. Or they might have like the Fortnite thing where it's like a slowly kind of like shrinking kind of map or something.
There's also an intermission setting down here that is not selectable in Knockout Tour. So maybe you can remove the races in between courses. Like maybe, but I don't know what intermission would be. Like, I don't know what else intermission could mean.
Yeah.
Battle Royale, battle mode. Well, that's what they're showing now is the Knockout Tour, where it goes through multiple courses with, I guess, a max of 24 players, and every time you pass a new course, the amount of players gets smaller and smaller. So we can see here they both selected different cups. Oh, maybe actually the Knockout Tour cups and the Grand Prix cups are different. So maybe you do only start with that bottom
might be
row.
it.
Because Golden Mushroom and Ice Flower are different. Yeah, you see it's randomly selecting between this two. How do you feel about this? About the being able to drive around in the hub world while you're waiting for people to join? Because I much prefer that to like just your
prefer it over,
Mii's
like, my
standing
stupid
there.
Mii. It's interesting how you start some races already like kind of moving.
Mm-hmm. So who is that? Is that Waluigi? I keep thinking it's the fucking Inkling. I know it's not, but there's one of these tweets here where it's probably in English. Yeah, this. I don't know how accurate this is. This might be a Koopa, but this is from the Magic Comet on Twitter.com that says Mii's are in Mario Kart World. If you this might be an ink blot test, but like, do you see a Mii here?
Just because of the helmet, and I think the Mii's had like specific costumes in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I would have guessed that's a Mii, but I'm not sure.
But also the person posting this is a member of the Mii community and also has a Mii as their profile picture.
Some people are really crazy about their Mii's.
Yeah.
Like, man, you really want to use your Mii as your profile picture? I mean,
I don't know if this means that the Mii's will be in the game, but that's there. We have it.
I think they will probably have Mii's in the game. I mean, I think it's, that seems to be a thing they like doing.
In the bottom right here, it says be 20th or better. So yeah, if you're just under 20, if you're in the bottom 4, you get eliminated after the first course. And, oh, there's the side stepper as well, where it's on double speed. The game isn't normally like this, or it's on 1.5 speed. And also, this isn't split screen mode. This is just they're using 2 captures. And there's a treehouse later where they you thought this is what the game was.
No, I wasn't consciously thinking about it actually, but I'm like thinking like, okay, that makes more sense.
I think we just saw flavor text up ahead as well. That said, oh, beep. Okay, I think when you have the horn item, it makes a little beep. So yeah, every individual item, or at least the items that would get flavor text, have individual flavor text. This is the star point, right? This is the galaxy. Oh, what's this fucking question mark block? Oh, you hit a bunch of coins.
It's just coins.
There's a lot of coin items in this game.
It's like, oh, great, you open your item box and then get another box with coins in it.
Right.
Like, I think honestly that's gonna be annoying more.
It's like on Christmas when your parents prank you, they get like a really big box and then you keep opening it and it's smaller and smaller boxes.
Yeah.
There's the golden mushroom. Oh, the golden mushroom has a little like draining feature here.
Yeah, I think they had that in 8 too.
Oh man, I'm not perceptive. It's probably Luigi with the helmet. I'm not gonna lie.
I was so happy to tell you that. I was so happy to
I appreciate it. Listen, you gotta. This is why we're doing this. Okay, and this is DK Summit.
It's like, sure, Andrew. That is being shown for the first time.
Also, wait. I think the baby Daisy was already wearing the crown. Was it? Let me go back. No, that was the baby Daisy crown. So it's wearing a crown here. Does that just mean they came in first? I think in the knockout tour, whoever's wearing the crown changes depending on how you place.
Yeah, I think they've had stuff like that before in the series.
Right, now you gotta be in the top 16. I do like the little thing that shows up here. I know we're obviously going to get a duplicate characters, and I'm glad we have alternate costumes for that. But I like that there are 24 racers, and as far as we know, in the demo, there's 24 playable characters. I think that, like, they're all gonna... Like, the likelihood of everyone picking the same character is different this time. Obviously, that's what the Mii's were for, is that you could customize your own individual character. By the way, this is fucking insane. I don't know where this is on my, I think I scrolled way too fast. But this skip that the baby Daisy does here, the course seems to be going straight. Oh, maybe it's optional, but just fucking absolutely running past all of these turns...
Like, why would you even ever take those turns in the first place?
Yeah, well, that's what I like about, like, while I'm not concerned, but, like, questionable about how much the open world will mean to me when it comes to traversal, it seems at the very least that the open world allows for more exploration in... Oh, I fucking freaked out for this, by the way. All the people who know me, I'm boosting the audio on this. Because I said earlier that depending on where you are on the map, what course, you get a different food item.
Here. BK.
I can't even see what it is.
Oh, they both got it.
Gonna make...
It's fucking takoyaki. I love takoyaki. It's one of my favorite dishes.
Oh no! I had some takoyaki.
You lost the takoyaki, dude. I'm more excited about this than anything else. There was takoyaki also in Kirby and the Forgotten Land. I fucking love takoyaki. This is the announcement I care the most about.
Okay. I'm lying.
That's
me
pretty...
when I lie. Chat saying, I can't wait for a new day to win the tag. Okay, that's actually not relevant to what I was saying. I agree, but I mean, I think I'm behind on my own notes individually. Oh, dunking in the water because of the blue shell. And we got horn. Actually, wait. Yeah, did we see the flag in the bottom left of what race you're on? I think it changes throughout, right? Or is it, because it's not laps, it's what course you're on. So the entire course counts as one thing. So when you get to race 4, you're on race 4 of 6, and it'll let you know that it slowly slims the pool over time. There are overall 6 segments. So we did see, like, I think we saw more than 4 courses. It did seem like 6 races, right? Or like 6 locations.
Let's see.
Or at least early on, we could check out as well. It was when they picked the stage. Yeah, there's 4 squares here, but this looks like 6 courses. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 different courses. Oh, and it goes from right to left. Yeah, see, so it has... Oh, that's also where we see the Sarasa Lands course. But yeah, there are 6 segments. There's also a little rainbow border around the screen, or it's a vignette, I guess would be the term, when you get close to the finish line. Whatever course this is has bullet bills shooting back, or sorry, bonsai bills shooting backwards at you. And they haven't showed up yet, but they're in the top 4. I think this is the final... No, after this will be the final race. So I imagine whoever is in first wins. Took that spot and see the rainbow vignette show up when you get closer to the finish line. And what's interesting is when Baby Daisy looks behind them, if you can see it for a second, which I imagine is still the same button it was last time, the vignette disappears. So it might just be... It is just in proximity to the course. If you're going backwards and look backwards, it would be the same thing. And now it's down to... Right. Is it the final... No, it's the top 4. Now there's only 4 people racing frantically for the top slot. I have anything else for this? I wrote Takoyaki in all caps and put exclamation points there. I may have missed something already. Well, we did. There were items previously. Yeah, we definitely skipped by it because we've been jumping all around. That are you can show them on screen, the ice flower and the hammer. And the ice flower works like the fire flower. I haven't seen the effects of the ice flower. I've only seen that you could shoot ice balls ahead of you. However, this tweet, not that one, that is about online ranking. This says diamond rank at MK World ? This is Vantox on Twitter. You could see that Toad has a little ice cube around his head. I don't know if that slows you down or makes it like you can't turn. But yeah, the tweet is saying there might be a ranked
part of
mode.
His headgear.
You think so?
I don't know. Because it looks like he's wearing like some sort of helmet.
It could be, but well, if that's the case, as of right now, we do not know what the ice flower does. We can make an educated guess.
Yeah.
And the hammer item, you just throw hammers in front of you. I don't remember where they are, but I skipped ahead, but I got the notes properly. It was after Takoyaki. We may have gone too far. I don't remember where the Takoyaki... Oh, wait, no, here it is. Okay, so the coin coffer... Second item does the mushroom, and they have a crystal ball item. Show the crystal ball item.
Spell, I assume?
That spawns Kamek, who goes after... it's flying in front of. So presumably a random character, and we saw in these previous tweets that, Kamek spells turning pilots into Goombas. Maybe it turns all of the drivers into something. What does this one say? Toad Factory is a pretty faithful remake. Kamek, the item, is even in it. Oh, sorry. I should have paused it. It was loud. So that's what that does. That character, or that item rather, changes your costume. I'm still going to have to assume that you can choose to play, because we know now, although Coin Coffer was not on the character select screen, the Treehouse guys are hacking, because this guy's playing as Coin Coffer right now. There are change-ups around here. I like the cherry blossoms. That's all I have about this treehouse, so I want to see where and how it ends. However, there is information I think that we learned here, or maybe they tell us later in the other ones. There's a lot of treehouse footage. I don't know if you've gone through all this. Have you seen anything beyond this point?
No.
Okay. I'm not blowing your mind right now with information and insider scoops.
With these mind-boggling effects.
I did a lot of taking notes and research. I gotta put it somewhere. This is ultimately for me. Okay, no, you don't see it, but you do see your rankings individually. Okay, that is the second day of Treehouse. Well, it's still the second stream of Treehouse. I think this is the second day where they're doing Knockout Tour again, and they all present it like it's live. It's possible that none of these are live, honestly, but we do see... Would you call this vertical split screen? Because the line is vertical, but they're across. And we also see a character playing as the Goomba, so we know that Goomba isn't exclusive to being transformed into a character.
Oh, bro, I might play the penguin.
Yeah, that's pretty sick. I do think it's more and more like movie inspired, like with the design for DK, the way certain characters move, even like Mario being pudgier. And like this penguin, has the penguin been a big part of anything major,
Not
like
really.
before the movie? Like they were in the opening of the movie.
Not since the 3D games. Not since the 3D games.
And even
really.
then, that's not really major. It just kind of like is there.
And I don't even think the penguins. I mean, there was a penguin suit in Mario Kart, not Mario Kart, New Super Mario Bros. Wii.
That's
But I
true.
think the penguins in that game looked kind of different. Let me try and remember.
And this goes without saying as well, but I'm glad that you can play split screen and also play online at the same time. It'll help a lot with people who don't want to buy the Switch. See, I'm going to be the hub. You know, everyone's complaining about this price point. People in my life saying it's bullshit. But listen, if they want to play the Switch, they're going to have to ask me. And I think the meals here, it's like a spicy pokey thing. So I do think the way that like the mystery box spins around would have you believe that it's going to cycle through multiple food options. But it seems more often than not that the food option you get is related to what course you're on. Also, we see the Starman. See the invincibility star that we haven't seen. And there's the boomerang flower. The boomerang also goes behind you. I didn't know that. I guess that makes sense. There's the horn. A lot of items are going to happen in very quick succession. There is the golden mushroom and the golden shell. I'm watching across 4 screens right now. I would imagine... Do you think that the split screen in this game is going to go beyond 4? Or do you think 4 for split screen is always going to be the max? Oh, this is the giant mushroom as well. It also is time-based. It slowly drains over time. That's the return of the big mushroom since... I don't think it was in 7. I remember it being in Wii because that was like the new major thing.
I don't think it was in 8. It was in Wii. I don't think it was in 7. It might have been in 7. I forget.
I don't think so. There was a lot of weird stuff missing from 7.
Yeah.
But was that was like the... What else did they add in Wii?
Queen
That was like...
we had the bee.
Yeah. Yet to show up in this. We did have our little, like, character... Oh, this is the hammer item. Moo, or the cow. I gotta get used to saying... The name is just cow. And this is the ice flower. I don't think it hits any of the characters, so it doesn't tell us anything. But it has the same physics, the way it moves, as the fire flower. Yeah, misses every single one. So we still don't know what the ice flower does. Red shell, green shell. A bunch of destructible backgrounds. It's very chaotic now. Also, a bunch of people are obviously using their
like
bullet
20
bills.
people and then the freaking 20 people racing. You know?
Yeah, well, it's 24, I believe. Oh, now it's not because right, some of them got eliminated.
I think they subtract 4 from each kind of round. So it's
like
low 4 the first one.
But if you could have 4-player local split screen on one Switch, so you
probably could do that.
6 Switches to get a full 24. If you want to throw it, dude, LAN parties are gonna make a comeback. It's gonna rule.
They had something similar with Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. You can kind of like create. Well, I think when you did that, you maxed out at 2 people per Switch, or maybe not. I forget.
Oh, okay.
I never ended up doing it much, to be honest.
I've seen people do LAN parties with Double Dash, and I didn't never like thought about that being a thing as a kid. But you go to like conventions or special events, and there's like 16 people, or I guess. What was the max? I guess it was 16. Okay, the ice flower seems to just like spin them out and maybe freeze them for a little bit. The ice cube does appear above their head, so that's what we saw with Toad. Or no, that's just snow. I'm wrong. I guess you get hit by it and you get stunned out for longer. So not really a like gimmick game. Also, when you're playing with people online, you can see their name above their character. I like that. It's a nice touch. Oh, wait, sorry. I may have already missed it, or maybe it happened. No, it already happened a little bit ago. So when, obviously, you're playing with more and more characters, they get eliminated as they go. Like, the Peach here did not make it in the top 16, or won't make it in the top 16. Way far behind, as that is filling out. When that happens, this is obviously like a detail you would assume, but when they get eliminated, yeah, now they're eliminated, did not finish. Cuts to them for a second, and then the camera focuses on the other, like, different camera angles of the other person racing. And I think what they say, I don't know if they show it at all, but the player of choice over here can cycle between which character they want to spectate.
Okay.
And there's more notes here about, like, Kamek turning one of the characters into Spike. And that's more and more evidence that, I love the texture on the Ice Flower, by the way. We haven't seen Ice Flower in a while. The last thing it was in was probably, like, Galaxy 2, right? If even that.
I probably that. I can't remember.
Maybe it was in, like, new Super Wii U. A lot of hazards on this. There's the hammers. Oh, they stick in the ground. Yeah, a lot of it's destructible. I imagine when you go big or go invincible that you could just knock out all of the cars and whatnot. I'm trying to...
Yeah, it was in Wii U. The new Super Mario Bros. U.
And this year, when the more and more people get eliminated, Like, I guess the treehouse people aren't as good. Man, I'm a better gamer than this. They all spin out and then they're all spectating. Oh, these people are done. And they're going to continue. I guess their course, you could just, like, exit. I appreciate that if you get eliminated, it's like Fall Guys. Like, if you lose, you can immediately get back on the horse to a different game. But I also, like, I hope it gives you the option to continue to spectate, obviously, for, like, online races. This is a tiny acorn course. You can see, like, the characters, the racers are sort of, like, bug-sized, and there are giant wigglers, and there's flowers. I don't know if we know what this course is called, but it's really interesting. And yeah, on this screen, they're both spectating the penguin. This is a fun way to play doubles when you're playing online. It's like, if you get knocked out, you can still spectate your friends. Yeah. The more and more stuff we see is control-based, and I don't think a lot's going to happen for a little bit. Bullet Bill. You can see it from the front and back. Oh, those are the acorns. Coming in fourth, losing.
Oh, he's so cute. He's flapping his little wings.
Gonna be a penguin man. I think I was gonna... Do you remember when, this was like... Maybe it was a video with like 500 views or something, and maybe I'm the only person that saw it. Because I was doing a bit on that. I'm like, oh man, we're better at this game. We should be there. That like, somebody who really liked Banjo-Kazooie made a video complaining that the Game Grumps got to have Grant Kirkhope on the show when it was like John and Aaron, and they were complaining because they're like, they're not even good at the game. I'm much better at the game. I should be interviewing them. It's like, well, that's not why people are watching.
Yeah, I've never seen that, but I kind of relate.
I assumed it's like, oh man, this is a thing that everyone saw, but no, it may have just been me. Okay, now we are seeing the game chat feature. A lot of shit up here that just says, oh, you know, you have to own online or whatever. This is what a mechanic we saw mainly in the Direct that we're seeing for the first time in the Switch 2 Ultra canon, the existence of the game chat. It's weird that it's specifically 5, right? Do you think? Because we've only seen 5. Because like most games you would say is like, oh, there's 4 players.
Like 5 people.
There's 5 screens, well, no,
yeah. Corey is the main screen is Corey and he's in the bottom left too.
Oh, so okay. I didn't notice that. Okay, that does make more sense. I mean, you could do split screen. You could, in theory, get 8 people to play like this just on 4 different Switches. I think I'm going to do this day one. I want to invite a ton of people over to, like, play stuff together. But when I said that, I imagined there'd be more like, oh, it's like ARMS, or there's, like, 1-2 Switch, you know, party games and whatnot. And there is, like, a tech demo game that is $6.
We're going to play Nintendo Switch 2 Tour together. Woo!
Yeah, we could totally, we could just get any streamers that are going to get a day one. It might be a slimming pool.
We can get 6. You get 5 people, and everyone pitches in $1 to get the freaking tour game.
That's true. Mario Kart Tour on the phone.
Just so we all save a little bit. No. The Switch 2 tour game.
Oh yeah. Everyone gets. I don't know if we get to do. Yeah, we're gonna race and see who completes it first. Well, my plan was always to like for a console launch to get everything, right? Is to get the console, get all the launch titles, get the exclusives, get like the major selling points. There's that one F-Zero-esque looking game. I think when I did the math last time after the Direct, there's like 11 titles that are there are 11 titles that aren't ports on Street Fighter 6, and especially get the new amiibo, because I like Street Fighter 6, and I've heard it's got less latency than the PlayStation version, which is crazy. I've seen some people talk about rollback netcode when it's not built into the console, it's just on an individual game level. Like there have been, we also see here, this is worth mentioning, that when you fall in, you lose all of your items, but Lakitu also gives you a boost. I saw people talking about that. I can't remember if that was always in the games, but it's worth bringing up. You get a little draft boost when Lakitu drops you off, but you also lose all your items.
Yeah. Interesting.
This level looks...
What about your coins?
I mean, you still got your coins. Still got all 17. You may have... Oh, actually, you may have lost some. Because I think it took like 3. Let's find out.
That's what it was, I think, in 8.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I forget.
It's at 18. No, they were at 18 coins. Another... Yeah, it takes 3 coins. Okay.
So they do the fade to black again, because they stopped doing that in 8. In 8, the Lakitu, like, you see it kind of carry you back out.
Yeah, so I mean, the fade to black is just faster, right?
It's really fast, though. It is really fast.
Mm-hmm. We're also watching this on, like, 1.5 speed. But...
Oh, yeah, that's true. This course reminds me of that Maple Treeway course, honestly.
I wanted to say, I didn't want to be too negative, but, like, compared to the other courses I've seen, Lakitu turns this character into Spike. And now I didn't pause it, by the way, just buffering really fortuitously. That there's an exclamation point that appears next to Spike, and the same thing happened when they unlocked certain costumes. So maybe this is also how you unlock characters, is you just get turned into them while racing. Yeah. Let me ask you, do you think there's a chance there are characters in this game that we don't know about yet, or do you think we've probably seen all of them in the background?
Nintendo kind of habit of just like showing it all off, so I assume we probably. I think we already maybe. I mean, I think they're going to be costumes we haven't seen yet.
Oh, of course.
But I think we probably have seen all the characters,
Which is
I'm
fine.
not. I'm a little bummed out about that. Just because I think I like when they kind of drip feed it a little bit.
Yeah.
But for what it's worth, I mean, it's okay.
But
I
there
guess.
are.
I think I would have preferred more named Mario characters than a lot of the enemies. But
there are, however, a lot of characters though. We also see,
exactly.
I said this previously, but we see that the little up on the D-pad here and the ... Either those are emotes or they're like pre-made lines, like I'm using tilt controls or so on and so forth. But we could also see when
they're probably emotes.
Yeah, you could see these characters emoting when Nabbit rolls up, and I was gonna take a picture, and now they're jumping. That might just be like the drift button, but
I love the bird. I forget what they're called, but like the long neck.
The conch door.
I might play that too. The cock door. The cock.
No,
door?
come on, man, stop. It's not funny.
What is it? What is it?
Conch door.
Conch door. Okay.
Dick and cocky. They're also saying, we're talking over it, but they're saying here that ZL waves. I don't remember what ZL is. Is that's just the right trigger, right? Or the left trigger, obviously.
That's the left trigger.
Yeah. So there's at least an emote tied to a button. And maybe the ... is how you communicate. I would assume that when it comes to game chat, you can't do it with strangers. You have to like have friend codes, but I think that's the thing I'm going to do day one is get like some fucking other people are going to play the Switch together. We do have a streamer group where we play games that we call ourselves New Normal Boots. If you ever wanted to be a member of New Normal Boots with us and play games.
New Normal Boots?
Yeah.
Ooh, it's better than, yeah. I mean,
it's better than old Normal Boots, am I right, guys?
Yeah, right.
No, I mean no harm. All right, and then the final treehouse setup. Well, this is day 2. This is more Grand Prix gameplay.
A Grand Prix gameplay.
Fuck. Depending on if my area has it, I'm going to be doing that for SW2. Forgot to have my message. I don't know what... Huh? I also, like, I'll probably play Deltarune on it as well, just because I need stuff to play on it. But I like the idea of, like, obviously you picture the game chat and you're like, oh, we're all playing the same game together. But I also like the concept of racing in a game. Like, you could, if you play the GameCube thing online, like, maybe, like, day one, it's like, oh, shit, we'll see who...
The selection screen's different when there's 2 people. I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, and also, I think we see here what I was talking about before, where it seems like, although there are different selections, the main cart and bike are character-specific. Plush button.
Yeah.
Which I'm glad we're seeing that. Depending on my area,
bounces whenever
the Switch 2, I'm going to be doing that. What I was saying is, like, although I don't want to set myself up for failure, because I know they're turning off smart stealing. Let's go. Smart steering. I wouldn't be good at the game. I haven't really played it since I played a little bit on the Wii U, but also, like, day one, you could do a Wind Waker race. Like, everyone plays Wind Waker. Like, 4 different people are playing Wind Waker on GameCube, on NSO at the same time, and seeing who can get the farthest.
I like lose that so embarrassing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't know anything about Wind Waker. Like, I would legitimately be going in blind.
I haven't played it since I was, like, 12.
Mm-hmm.
So... I don't remember.
The note I have here, by the way, is that the entire chat was spamming lower the price the entire time this was streaming.
Oh, yeah.
This is also, we saw different cups. Let me go back to that real quick. I think we already went over these.
Yelling at the pre-recorded Nintendo Live event.
I mean, it sends a message, but also, like, they're not reading it. Yeah. I mean, like, the Treehouse people aren't reading it. Hopefully Nintendo gets the message. I feel for them a little bit because of tariffs and all that, but... Okay, we already saw Mushroom, Flower, and Star Cup. I don't think we saw anything beyond that.
Especially because I don't really think it's in their interest. Especially because I don't really think it's at this point in their interest to price hike.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't think they're thrilled about having to mark up the Switch and stuff. But
I think what will likely happen is maybe they have a lackluster launch and then they cut it in like 6 months time. Maybe even like sooner around the time of Donkey Kong, or they have a better deal where it's like, oh, if you buy this game, you get this game, so on and so forth. But I'm gonna be the schmuck that gets it all at launch anyway. Triple banana item, by the way.
Same.
But I'm glad
unless I accidentally get unless I accidentally get like blessed and like don't and get like totally shafted with trying to get the Switch.
Mm-hmm.
So instead, I just don't get it.
Yeah, you get FOMO. Yeah, I gotta say this. I love being in control of things with the Fire Flower, but there is something liberating about a decision being out of your hands because then you don't need to worry.
It's like, all right, well, I guess I can't do anything.
Right.
Like, all right.
I'm not gonna say anything about it yet. Probably in a couple weeks I'll make like.
That's why I like it when the power goes out. I was talking about this with a friend.
Yeah.
The other day.
No, I agree.
Whenever like the power goes out, it's like, okay, well, I guess I can't. I don't have to work on anything for a little bit.
I was editing last night.
This very simple problem.
I screen record on streaming services because I don't like downloading shows because I don't want to risk getting in trouble because I have before. So I screen record shows on streaming, and the footage I was using last night, like there was something else playing in the background, and for a second I was like, oh, that rules. I have to not do anything on my computer for a couple hours while I record the footage in the background.
Yeah, right.
But then I'm just like, well, why
I
don't I
always
just record that 1 30-second clip?
Yeah, right. I always do. It's funny. I always end up doing things I don't normally do when I have to export a video. It's like, okay, well, my computer's kind of like occupied for the next 10 hours. I guess I'll read a book or something.
Anything
Yeah.
additional.
Maybe I'll go like bowling or something, you know?
Damn, that's a lot of expo. I mean, that's normally when I would go see a movie, but also like I'm at the point now where my Premiere is so inconsistent that I'm like, I can't leave it unattended because I know if I don't check every 10 minutes, it's going to be like error and it's going to start from the beginning again.
Yeah, no, I've had that problem before.
But, sorry, chat. Depending, oh, okay, I read that. Not only tariff, but Japan is kind of going through a bad style economically. Dude, we're all in this together. I'm glad the whole world is fucked. It's a fun time. But yeah, no, I was, there's a video I was working on that I can no longer work on, which is out of my control. And my first thought was like, I was really disappointed because I wrote most of it. And then I was like, oh, I could just do, like, it allows me maneuverability. Also, we see, I believe, a moose there. The first spotting of a Mario moose. It's got the same face as the Mario horses do. And the cows, I guess.
Imagine being that one guy who worked on Mario Sports Mix and you accidentally kind of create an integral decision for the Mario art style for the next 15 years.
Yeah, or like the guy who wrote on Cheers who created the character Frasier. Because you get residuals every time that character shows up. I think it's... What I was getting at is like, yeah, if it's taken out of my hands... This happened with, I was planning on going to WrestleMania in 2020. Like, I got the tickets in 2019. And the lockdowns happened like 2 weeks before. And so I had already decided, like, it is not safe. I am not going to this. There's no way I'm going. But they hadn't canceled it yet. So I kept, even though I already knew I wasn't going to go, I kept, like, hoping and praying that they would cancel it so that way no one else could go either. Because, like, if it's canceled, that's one thing. But I didn't want to be like, fuck, I don't want to decide not to go, you know? I want that decision to be made for. I want no one to go, is basically what I'm saying.
It actually reminds me of a fun story where basically, my sister went to college in Savannah. I'm okay with revealing that. I don't give a shit. For a while, I was going up to Savannah every year or so, you know, just kind of visit, kind of check out the city. It's a nice city. And there was this, you know, this retro game shop which had a lot of old games and stuff. And I remember going there, and I noticed they had Earthbound on sale for $800. And I was like tempted. Honestly, it probably wasn't even a good price for Earthbound, but it did have the strategy guide. It had some of the scratch and sniff still there. I don't know if you know that Earthbound, the original release, had like a bunch of, you can smell the enemies or whatever.
That was their marketing, is that this game stinks.
Yeah, it's like this like stupid Nickelodeon marketing. It's like ooh goo.
Two things real quick. Anyway. I think this course looks beautiful, and this might just be like slowly. Oh, they just sent out Kamek as well, so it might be like slight mechanical differences, or maybe it's a stroke of luck. But the character here, it also seems like Kamek just spawned a chain chomp here. I don't know if that's Kamek that does it or if it's part of the stage. It looks like it does spawn Chain Chomp. But anyway, Hammerbro gets hit here and tumbles off, but still extracts the wings. Which I feel like in any other Mario Kart, they would just fall into the pit, no?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, that's a new thing.
All right, what were you saying about Earthbound?
Yeah, so like, I didn't get it that initial trip, but then the next time I went, I kind of was like, you know, I had like an hour to kill basically, so I thought, you know what? The store is going to close relatively soon. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk there, and if it's closed, I'm not going to, you know, I'll just do something else. But if it's still open, I'm going to buy the game. So it's just like, if it's open, well, then it's out of my control. I'll have to make this $800 purchase, you know, because I can't make that decision apparently.
Yeah.
It's like relinquishing control of events, even though you kind of do have the control.
So to come across, he's like, I don't care how much it is. If I find the PS5 in the wild, I'm going to bring it home. Anyway, this Toad has a burger hat. I think that's what that is. In my notes it says turban ? But I think it is a burger. I was just looking out my phone.
Burger hat.
Burger. But I want to get it at launch. Like I've already resided to getting it, so I just hope the damage isn't too bad.
I mean, if nothing else, just for this show, but also because I love Nintendo. I mean, I'm definitely like, I think there's only been one Nintendo game that I've really like consciously not gotten for like some sort of ethical reason, and that was like Sword and Shield back in like 2019. Like I still got Scarlet and Violet.
Yeah. See, the thing is, for me, like, for so much of the Switch era, I was making content, and I hate that word, but that's what it is. I was creating videos. I was making movies.
Yeah.
And that part of that is occasionally like getting games, especially when it comes to streaming. So I wasn't streaming yet, but I did make a video on Sword and Shield back in the day, even though no one watched it. And that a lot of those clips are in the Smash video. That I got but also I was probably going to get it regardless, because I was feeling very nostalgic at the time. Because I didn't really play Let's Go that much, so I'm like, this is the first. Also, like, at the time, I'm like, oh shit, open world Pokemon game that I can run around with my friends. Evidently, that wasn't true until Scarlet and Violet, but it blew my mind at the time. Kamek turns him into Charge and Chuck, now unlock Charge and Chuck. We see a lot of examples of this. I feel like we've thoroughly understood the Kamek character.
I like this level.
Yeah, we saw the name of it earlier. It was like Sweet Treat something. It always reminds me, I think it is from Tour, but it always reminds me of that one battle course
I think
that was
in
DS, the giant cake. I always loved that one.
I love the giant DS.
Dude, honestly, like, now more than I'm thinking about it, I do think I have fonder memories of battle mode. Also, this is crazy. There's a Shine Sprite on top of this crown. I didn't notice that. They very seldom talk about Shine Sprites, or at least in anything tangible.
Yeah. I think I didn't realize that because of the 1,000-Year Door remake coming out just a few weeks, like last year.
What if that gets DLC for the Switch 2, like the enhanced version? As much as
that would be insane.
I don't fuck with I know that people are upset about like, oh shit, you gotta pay for our games again. But I kind of like the prospect that like every Switch 1 game could get something new. I think that's really cool and exciting.
Well, that's one of the interesting, because there are Nintendo Switch editions which have new content. I'm pretty sure there's also going to be free performance updates for other games.
Scarlet and Violet.
So because of that, like, I mean, first of all, you can think, I think Odyssey is getting a free performance upgrade too.
Or
so because of that, I think there's
Odyssey gets.
Well, I think Odyssey was confirmed for just a simple thing. I mean, maybe they could do a Switch 2 upgrade on top of it. I would love that. But I remember watching a video. Someone was saying, actually, it was Arlo. He was bringing up that there are some games that have neither been confirmed for a Switch 2 edition and also not been confirmed for a Switch for like a what's the word, like a Switch 2 edition that costs money, and also a Switch that haven't been confirmed for just a normal performance update. So some people are theorizing maybe those games might have Switch 2 editions down the line. One of those is like Pikmin 4, for example. So I think honestly there might be some more Switch 2 edition games down the line, and hopefully, I mean, if they have new content in them, I'm down to pay the upgraded package.
Well, from what I've heard, it does sound like if you have the expansion pack that they do get upgraded. I mean, I hope so. Oh, yeah, sorry. Chat says, well, every game except for Nintendo Labo Toy-Con 04 VR kit. That's true. Every Nintendo Switch game made by Nintendo is compatible with the Switch 2 except for the VR kit. And you could also, they confirm that you can use Nintendo Switch 1 Joy-Cons to play on the Switch 2. You just have to pair them, and you can't hit the home button on them. This Goomba shoe now has an ice skate on it like it does in 3D World. There's also something interesting that happens here. I don't know if it happens yet. They're just on very calm water right now, and they're going in boat mode on their, I guess they would call it watercraft mode. And now that it's snowing in the area, the course just might be like this. But it sounds like what they're saying is because it's windy and snowy in this area, now the waves are stronger. So it seems like weather conditions are not just, also you get hit by the ice flower and nothing really happens.
Yeah, the water might get a little slippier. Not the water, the tracks might also get a little
yeah, it seems like the weather does do something. It just seems like the only way to impact the weather is either that it's course specific, which wouldn't apply to the day-night cycle, or it's just like if you do the lightning item, which I would assume there's probably more weather items if that's the case. They're going to add we got to add Polytoad to the game. They're going to have a bunch of different weather effects and there's different items that do all of them.
Oh, great. I mean, Rayquaza's Delta Stream.
Ooh.
And they add like some...
See, this is legitimately what people wanted. They're like, I want Pikachu, and I want Samus, and I like the tertiary Mario characters in Mario Kart. Similarly, in Kirby Air Riders, I hope it's a lot of Kirby crossover characters. Chat says, upscaling for console is a little more complicated than the press of a button. I agree, but I'm saying like
it is, although I don't think it's like that. I don't think they could justify charging $10 to like let you play Mario Odyssey in 60 FPS 4K.
Yeah.
I think that's a little like beyond the pale.
If
but if they're adding new stuff to it, yeah, I'm fine with like $10, $15, $20.
I heard somewhere that like if you have the expansion version, because I know like Scarlet and Violet
might be
Upres is
right.
like free. I hope that's the case. I hope these upgrades are paid if you don't have online, and then do if you don't. It's the same thing like Nintendo Switch Online, the expansion pass, and also like the Mario Kart bundle with the Switch we were talking about before. It's such a good deal. Like I'm trying not to sound like a salesman, but I don't know why you wouldn't get it. Like it's a much better deal. Also, we see the menu
you
here.
Want the Nintendo Switch 2, but you really, really don't want Mario Kart World.
Yeah, it's the only game for it.
It's like I want the Nintendo Switch 2 on day one, but I really, really don't want to play Mario Kart World.
That's the thing that gets me when people are like, "Oh, it's an $80 game." It's like, well, yeah, if you just buy the game and not the console,
yeah.
But the bundle's not going to be around forever. Anyway, we see the menu here. Single player, multiplayer, online play. We see badges down here, and this badge below Yoshi doing a weird exhausted face. I would like to smell them. It says you raced 35 times total. So maybe that's like the little... I imagine they're going to be like... Actually, Mario Wonder badges is not an apt comparison because those aren't achievements. Those are unlockables. I think it's more like... I don't know what they're like achievements. I think the console won't have achievements, but individual games might. I think Mario Kart World has badges that you can unlock, but you can choose to play Switch 1 version. That's true. They're for sure going to sell Skyrim 60 FPS, 1080 for more De Niro. I don't know. We didn't see a lot of that. I think the main third-party selling thing is Elden Ring. Like, that's the new hot game. That's the equivalent of Skyrim. Like how they showed Skyrim on the Switch 1.
Was the Skyrim on the Switch, the game, was that like the remastered version or based on the initial Skyrim? Do we know? I forgot.
I don't know.
I think we probably know, but I just forgot.
I think the remaster was after, maybe. I imagine it was like up-resed a little bit. Because like it runs on everything now. But I think it's cool that the Switch has all this graphical fidelity and that people can play the third-party games on it. But at the end of the day, Anglerfish, I play Nintendo consoles to play Nintendo games, and I also own a computer. Like, if I wanted to play Elden Ring, I don't know if I would play it on the Switch. I might play Street Fighter 6 because I want to collect the figures and cards. I think that's really cool. And obviously Deltarune, like, I got to play something on the Switch 2 when it comes out. I want to have a variety if I want to stream for a while. It could just be mostly Mario Kart and doing the picture taking again. But that's what it leads me to believe that there will be achievements in this game. So that's all the treehouse footage. We do have more in this playlist of individual, like, hands-on people talking about their time. Although we don't really see it here. I want to get to, like, this is IGN's footage. I think this is direct footage as well. Like, not footage from the direct.
Trailer footage.
But, like, capture. Okay, this is trailer footage. Because most of the footage. Okay, this is capture footage. This is screen footage. We see the people picking their carts. This is really cool.
Oh, like, they're all standing up so close to the screen.
Yeah.
Like, it makes sense, but it's kind of, like, funny looking.
Could finally beat Elden Ring together. We could do that on PC. What were you saying?
No, I'm just like making jokes.
Oh, it's the same bald guy. I know that guy.
Is that David Cross? No, it's not David Cross.
It's good.
It looks kind of like David Cross.
Fuck, I blew it. This is more trailer footage. I'm waiting for their specific footage. We see that fucking King Boo monocle outfit. Anyway, what we see the invincibility. Although we did see this in the... I wonder if you can hurt those camels with the invincibility star. That's my question.
I would like intentionally run.
Right, I would keep backing up and forwarding.
Whenever I have the star on Moo Moo Meadows, like I go for the cows.
Mm-hmm. They also say in this video, I watched it already, they say that the knockout tour takes about 10-ish minutes. So what you said before about like the Grand Prix being like 15 or so, like I think that's good. I think that's fair. Also, like if you get knocked out, you can immediately get back in. I think that'll be the main online feature when people play.
I think honestly, I think like I'll probably get some motion out of playing the knockout mode because it's pretty low. I think honestly, elimination is just kind of fun. That's a fun way of playing games.
Yeah, just gotta keep adding a battle royale.
If you're out, you can just kind of like jump back in as opposed to let me just watch everything else. Or in the case of like I'm just sucking at this Grand Prix. I'm in like 10th place every single match, but I kind of have to keep playing it as opposed to just like dipping out. So you know what I mean? So that's what I think is gonna be kind of fun.
The Twitch chat is said as a joke on a portmanteau of Doug Bowser, who's the CEO of Nintendo of America, says they should make Doug Eggman as CEO of Sega. Do you know?
I like that.
The name of the CEO of Sega of America, what his first name is?
No, I don't. Is
It's
it like
Ivo.
Shadow or Ivo?
His
Oh,
name
that's
is
really
literally
funny, actually.
Ivo. I don't know why they keep.
That's-
That's why Nintendo and Sega is so greedy nowadays. Oh, also we see this mechanic
Mhm.
of driving into the truck and then playing as the truck.
Like turning into a truck.
I just want to kill animals in this game. Can you show me footage of the animals dying, please? That's all I want to do. There's gonna be someone psycho kid that like, really enjoys this game. You keep running over horses.
That truck, that like, the camera
Yeah.
gets like goes all the way back.
Well,
and you
that's
just,
why
like, cause havoc.
I'm excited about the physics-based movements, especially what we saw earlier with the blue shell. Is that like there? I hope there's a lot more ragdoll in this game. I didn't watch the Nintendo Life or GVG one. These are a lot of them. I do want to just end it off with this, that I did not watch this video. I did not know. I didn't even know this person still made content. But at the bottom of this playlist is Justine, who got invited to
Yeah. Well, how many views does that have?
To New York.
82K over 4 days. Anyway, shout out Justine. I never watched her, but I think this is really cool.
You know, I mean, honestly, go Justine. Straight up.
YouTube chat says, I'm pretty sure they showed off characters using pre-made phrases in some trailer. We saw them doing emotes, and we know that the wave is tied to the ZL. By the way, hi, Dan.
Here's the back of it. Now we have 2 USB-C ports. We have one on the...
I also saw, not that it's important, but I think it's funny to bring up if we're like, oh shit, blast from the past. There is a right-wing grifter, or a gamer who has shifted toward the right-wing grifter market on Twitter that was like raging that he wasn't invited, but Justine was. Do you have a guess as to who that may be?
No, I don't.
It was Twitter user Stuttering Craig. I don't know if you're...
Do I know that person? I might know the profile picture. Let me search
He
it up.
made Screw Attack. You remember Screw Attack? Where he goes...
Yeah, I know Screw Attack. I know
Yeah.
Screw Attack.
Yeah, he used... Well, I guess Rooster Teeth bought Screw Attack. I do remember that happening, and then took out from under him. And then you remember in the top 10s, you'd be like, it's me, Stuttering Craig from ScrewAttack.com.
Yeah, I remember watching, honestly, like top 10, like Screw Attack were like some of the first top 10s I ever watched. I remember watching their like best Mario games and worst
Well, I
Mario
think
games.
we talked about this in the previous episode, is that like there's this new age of kids that like, or rather kids watching YouTube, and the YouTubers are adults who grew up playing like Mario Kart Wii and like Wii Sports and whatnot. Whereas when we were watching YouTube when we were very young, it was like 80s kids. We were watching fucking AVGN and Screw Attack Top 10s and Brenofloss. So I hold reference for like Contra and Castlevania. Whereas like if I was a kid, I wouldn't give a shit about those series at all.
That is exactly why I was born right before 9/11. But I for some reason have an opinion on Rareware. You know what I mean? It's like, oh man, it's a shame that like Rareware got bought out by Microsoft. It's only because I watch millennials talk about Rareware. So I think that that's kind of being passed over from us now that we're kind of the age of people who make YouTube videos and stuff, or at least
Well, by the time we were kids and like games were coming out, were there Mega Man games? Like I think for a solid decade there was no Mega Man game.
I think there was a lot of the like. Well, I mean, the X series was kind of pretty big. I don't know how big it was, to be honest. But there was, the stuff on the PlayStation, the X games, and I think they kind of climbed up to 7. I think some of them were on the PlayStation. But I think the Mighty Number 9 thing, that was all millennial nostalgia, and it's interesting. I think Mega Man, for better or for worse, I mean, I like the games. I think it's not a game series that's really been passed along to the next generation. I don't think like kids. Like our generation really cares
simply
that much
nostalgia.
about Mega Man. Yeah, I mean it's some good games. I think they are influential 2D platformers, but it's not like I don't think they've really they're like the Rolling Stones in the sense of like I think the younger generation aren't infatuated with Mega Man. All things considered.
I think Salty's been playing through
2D
them
platformers
recently.
in general.
Yeah.
Oh really?
They've been posting about it on his Twitter at the very least. Yeah, there's a lot of series like that. Anyway, let's see what... I haven't watched this video, so this is all new to me. Shout out to Justine. I never wanted to be one of those Twitch streamers that just like... This is why I'm pausing all the time. I don't think reaction content is inherently bad. I think you just need to add something to the conversation.
Our new C button.
The C button. I'm pointing as well. I'm participating. I don't know if we see a whole lot here. They did, however, confirm today... that I just wanted to see more Mario Kart footage, that the game carts are still bitter. They still taste bad. It's the same taste you love. I assume it's the same way. Okay, so now that we have a little bit extra time, we can go through. I think we've gone through some of these zeets that I talked about from Mario Kart Act 2. This is Hawk 2, talking about comic. This is, of course, what we were talking about before. There was another thing that was apparently leaked on the Russian or Korean, I think it was the Korean Nintendo site, that ties into Donkey Kong that we will talk about I mean, we could dedicate the next episode to just Donkey Kong Bonanza. It might be shorter, but
Dude, I'm excited for Bonanza. I kind of want to talk about it.
But this was shown on, obviously, like, the greater map we saw, of course, that wasn't shown off. This isn't on the Nintendo America or Japan account, or, like, on the map they showed, apparently. Seems like they, quote-unquote, leaked Rainbow Road, but I would assume Rainbow Road was in this game anyway.
Yeah.
I don't know, show Rainbow Road on screen. Yeah, do it live in real
doesn't know
time.
what Rainbow Road looks like.
Yeah, show the square image. But yeah, you just go into space. I imagine this is like not a post game, but like end game thing where you fly up into space.
Yeah.
Toad Factory, we saw that. This says from now on, the lightning only affects pilots in front. I imagine that means like drivers.
That's always been the case.
Is it?
That's always, yeah.
Oh, well.
You know, like if you're in 10th place and you do the lightning, everything above 10th place gets it, but anyone behind you doesn't get it.
We're learning so much.
Come on, lock in, guys.
Yeah.
Come on.
I'm just directly translating. I don't see you with tweets. I found another Wario costume,
really.
guys.
I'm not yelling at you. I'm yelling at the guy.
I know. I'm being
French
combative for no reason. Apparently, Hyper Mario 24 has found some stuff. I'm worried about ever looking at someone's Twitter account without like previously looking at it on stream, because you never know what shit's gonna pop up.
Horns allowed.
Yeah,
like, oh,
which like
hey.
to each their own. Okay, but Wario
for a split second I thought because you clicked the rightmost tab, I was expecting there to be like tweets, and I'm like, oh, I don't know if you vetted this guy's like tweets, but I forgot.
Oh yeah, they don't got those no more. All right, thank you Hyper Mario 24. You made it onto the podcast. Congrats. I hope nobody's upset about these, but yeah, this is the King Boo in parentheses pirates. Musings Yoshi is the one I've gotten the most.
I forgot about King Boo. I think King Boo is gonna be like one of my mainstays. I love the boos. I love the boos.
This is just a weird like quirk. You can see the shell bouncing. It goes up and then bounces back. Where it says this one is technical. The green shell bounces off the truck's zippers when you would have thought it would go through the springboard. There's also tied up.
Interesting. They might patch that. Honestly,
we do have a number. I mean, I think we've seen all of the items and all of the characters, presumably. I imagine, like I said this in the previous stream, but when it comes to Mario Kart, the character speculation is not the fun part for me. It's the core speculation, because that's what matters in Mario Kart, and that's what
for me, it's kind of the opposite. I don't know,
so?
Maybe not. I think for me, there is a lot of fun in the kind of fantasy of playing as a certain character. So that was always what I was most excited for. That's why I think I was kind of disappointed when 7 came out as a kid, just because of like a lot of the characters that were omitted from the cast.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't terrible, but I don't know. Admittedly, I think all things considered, the courses themselves have a much bigger impact on the playability of the game. So I don't know. I mean, I just like character speculation in general.
Yeah, I think character speculation is fun, especially because I like Mario characters, but I guess it's also because I never really focused on the stats of it all, that I'm just like, oh, you know, what I'm playing in the game, the courses are important. I was saying more from like an outside standpoint. I do actually like the characters. I like being able to find them in the background. I like that couple day period, or like the day period, where the direct came out but the treehouse hadn't happened yet, that everyone was like frantically looking at blurry footage in the background. And that's what's happening as we do this weekly show, is we're going to be like, oh, these are these items. These are these courses. But I think we've seen all the characters and items. We haven't seen all the costumes. But I fear that maybe all of our work will be undone as the direct just shows everything. But that's not for a while.
We're going to like watch the direct and be like, oh, we know this one. It's actually not. It's for like 2 weeks from now.
Right.
So
we still have one extra episode of Switch to Ultra before then, where I presume we're going to talk about Donkey Kong Bonanza.
Yeah, that's what I'm down for.
Well, that is all the analysis footage. We could throw it back over to the actual newsstand. It's been a while since we've been back over here. Do you have any final closing thoughts on Mario Kart World?
I'm excited. I mean, I think the $80 price tag is definitely, well, it's not going to be a big issue for me, because I'm probably I'm going to try and get the bundle. It's definitely, an interesting direction in terms of how games are monetized, how they'll be monetized in the future, the good, the bad, and, well, probably mostly just the bad and the ugly about it. But the game itself looks really fun. It's going to be a fun direction for the series. There are like little things that, switchy-isms that I kind of, I'm a little bummed about, but it's nothing really that serious. It looks fun. I'm excited for it, and I'm very excited to play it.
I think it's ultimately like just from the outside looking in, we're like banging on the window where it's like, what, there's a lap in between courses that, like, I imagine as soon as you start playing it is a negligible difference. Yeah. That it's just like, oh, this is just the game. This is how the game is. Also, that's the other thing when it comes to, I said in a previous in the previous episode, there's only been one, or maybe the direct, that because the console is backwards compatible, that there's no reason to port games or upgrade games because you can already play them on the Switch too. If you don't fuck with Mario Kart World, you can still play Mario Kart 8 Deluxe with all its characters and DLC on the Switch too. Maybe that will have an up-res version. I know that wasn't on the list. Maybe they're going to avoid that. But now,
won't. I don't think they do that.
Now, because there are Switch 2 edition games, I think there are more and more games that instead of getting a direct sequel, it's going to focus on upgrading those games, which worries me in the long run when it comes to Smash Ultimate.
I was
Where
about to say, what do you think is the likelihood of a Smash Ultimate Switch 2 edition?
I think it's likelier now, especially because like Sakurai has been working on Kirby Air Riders for presumably most of the time. And I mean, like we said, characters are the most important part of Smash Bros. But when it comes to a Switch 2 edition, it wouldn't be like a slow drip feed of, oh, we're going to get them slowly revealed over time, or we're going to get DLC that we learn about in 3 months, like every 3 months. It's going to be like, if there are 5 additional characters, they're just going to show them off all at once. And I think, like, as a game, I'm not going to stop playing Ultimate. If Ultimate's so fun and they keep patching Ultimate, then I'm going to play it because Ultimate is a good game. But so much of the Smash Bros. Experience, like, not all of it is playing the game. That sounds strange, but, you know, the hype cycle is the fun part.
It is the kind of hype cycle. And I think it'd be kind of weird to, like, announce Smash Ultimate Switch 2 edition, like, a year and a half in advance just so they could, like, drip feed direct trailers or whatever.
Yeah.
I think that'd be a little insane. So I there's also a decent chance that they might just do a new game and it won't be headed by Sakurai.
I'm fine with that, honestly. And I've said that before,
same.
that I think it's time that's what when we were talking about Pokemon last night with me and my roommates, is that so many of the best, at least looking and running graphically, like Pokemon games, a new Pokemon Snap and Pokken, were worked on predominantly by Bandai Namco. And we know in the previous 2 years they made a new company or a new subsidiary that exclusively works on Switch games. It was called like Game 2 or whatever, and now we know it's because it's for the Switch 2. And editor, put the real thing on screen, whatever it's called. So like I wouldn't be surprised if you know, if there is in fact a new Smash game, that it's just like predominantly Bandai Namco working on it. And they make Dragon Ball FighterZ, they make Tekken, they make Soul Calibur. Like I think that'll be fine. Like, I think a lot of the luster will be lost without Sakurai. He's a presenter, and I think there's a lot of quality of life and, like, effort put into those games. But there are people, like we were talking about voice actors earlier, passing the torch. I'm fine with, like, being fans of these creatives, but at a certain point, like, it's only, like, 5 to 6, like, aging Japanese men that, like, you gotta let someone else try and make something, or else what happens when these guys croak?
Yeah, and honestly, another element of it is that I think Masahiro Sakurai, he could still just kind of work as a general creative lead that is that kind of like what's the word?
Director?
Gives the green or the red light for big decisions.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, still plays some sort of role while he's working on other things. First of all. And, you know, I always like to say, like, Miyamoto didn't play a big role in Mario Odyssey, and that's my favorite Mario game. So it's
yeah.
I think a lot of the core design principles, a lot of the core ideas of Mario still translate to Mario Odyssey. So I don't think Masahiro Sakurai necessarily has to day in and day out be a key figure in the development of Smash Bros. For it to feel like Smash Bros. Or for it to even feel like an extension of his artistic vision. So, I mean, that's basically just what I want to say.
I think it's fair to, like, give it to someone else. I think I would feel a little miffed, I suppose, if it's just, like, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, the Switch 2 edition. Because you could say the same thing about Mario Kart, although it is a different team, that, like, I said this earlier, like, the main reason I would want a new console is so I can get a new Mario Kart and a new Smash Bros. Like, I like that there are some series that only have one per console, and there's a new console generation, and it's been long enough, and I'm getting caught up in the excitement of a new console. And similar to Smash Bros., like, the hype cycle is more fun, not more fun, but, like, it's part of the fun of new games and new consoles, is learning what's in them. And ultimately, that's what the show is about. And that would be the other thing, is that if they're like, oh, no Smash this generation, then this show is just washed. We're going to run out of stuff to talk about. Because the purpose was future-proofing for Smash Bros. Discussion. We're going to have to get really into a different game. But yeah, my plan was always to continue playing most like Nintendo made games, because I think I played most of them on the Switch, and that's what I've been doing every Thursday, is playing a different like Switch game made by Nintendo. And now we
Yeah, what have you
know
been playing lately?
last Thursday I played Metroid Prime Remastered and Miitopia, because they were fresh on the
Sweet.
mind, because they just showed off Prime 4 and Tomodachi Life.
Yeah.
And the previous streams, I was just getting footage for the Smash video from 2019. So I was playing Astral Chain and Yoshi's Crafted World and Captain Toad Treasure Tracker, all that stuff. So I think for the most part, like, there's only, most of the games I'm missing are just like Xenoblade, Fire Emblem, different Pokemon editions that are just the same game. And then maybe, there's only like a handful left. And there's, I guess, 6 more Thursdays, or at least 6 more Thursdays I can stream before the Switch 2 comes out. I think ultimately what I'm saying is that regardless of the price, I'm gonna have to get it. Like I hope I have more money by then, because I've been kind of feeling it as of late. But the Smash video is doing well, so hopefully it'll turn that around soon. I'm just gonna go to less events this year, I presume. And I gotta play my backlog, but I do want to play Doom Eternal, or Doom the Dark Ages. I wonder if that'll be on Switch 2. Probably not, at least not to begin with. But they would announce it if it was, because it comes out beforehand. Because I remember like the Switch launched with Doom 2016, and I did play that. Like, that's the reason I played it most of the time. I didn't really play it on console, but because it was something that the Switch launched with, I miss those, not miss those, but I like the early days of a console launch where it is kind of bare bones, where you have to look at the eShop and see what there is. But because the console's backwards compatible,
let's play Zombie U, you know?
Like, or like fucking Snipper Clips. Do you remember?
Yeah, Snipper Clips too. The kind of games that you end up playing because there's nothing else on the console yet. It's kind of magical. I like that.
Yeah, that month on the channel where the website.
Where other than Space Raiders,
other than Breath of the Wild, everyone was playing Snipper Clips, because like, what else are you gonna play on the Switch? You're gonna play, what's it called? That one game where you're pushing blocks, and like, and even like Super Bomberman R, like that was also a launch title for the Switch, and then they made a second one and it bombed because people didn't buy it because, ironically bombed. They weren't excited about Bomberman. It's because it was on the Switch when there were like 5 games.
Yeah, exactly.
That is, as of right now, everything we have to say about Mario Kart. I can't imagine they're going to show anything in the coming days or weeks that'll change it before the Direct lull bombed. Hi, Dan. Shout out, Dan. First time chatter. Welcome. I got YouTube chat open on my phone. I got Twitch chat. I think when we get to the point where the news is less hectic, I think, and I don't presume that these streams will last 3 hours every time anyway. Right, I just assume okay.
I mean, Bonanza. I don't think we're gonna because how much did they show off of Bonanza during the treehouses, if at all?
Not a whole lot. It's more of just people being like, "Oh, I found this thing," and maybe we could talk about other stuff. Yeah, maybe just like an hour, but I feel like we go on tangents. I don't think that this show has no set time. I want to get it under 3 hours. Like, that's the max.
Yeah,
and which we're reaching right now. We're about 4 minutes away from that, so I'll wrap this up right now. Is that there's no set amount of time for how long we need to do each individual show, at least like maybe an hour for each time. But if we're ever at a point where like we don't have a whole lot to talk about, or we need a specific expert on individual games, that's when we'll have like a rotating third.
Yeah.
We got a lot of friends to call up.
We'll call them our third wheels.
Oh, that rules. Yeah, they're our child. Welcome to the family. Do you know any like resident Mario Kart experts? Because like when it comes to Splatoon, I'm like, okay, this is pretty specific niche. I know who to call.
I mean, maybe, but I don't know. I mean, I think I have friends who are like really into it. I think I have a friend who plays it competitively or semi-competitively, but I don't know if he's like really. Well, first of all, I don't know if he really makes videos. But,
right. Well, the thing is, like most people play Mario Kart, but like if we're gonna talk about we have a lot to say about Donkey Kong, but I don't even know who the quote Donkey Kong guy would be. Like Donkey, maybe. We gotta wait for New Zelda so we can call it PBG. He could be a member of New Normal Boots with us.
Yeah, no, PBG, yeah, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get Kai Cenat. Let's get freaking like.
I do legitimately think I might just be optimistic, but I think podcasts are a lot easier. Although, like, if somebody invited me on a podcast, I'd be like, man, I don't want to do that. Now I have to be like on for like at least an hour.
Yeah.
But like for other tubers or streamers, it's a lot easier to be like, oh, come on the show where we talk about stuff, as opposed to being like, oh, you should play Mario Kart with us.
Or you should like, just let's make a whole ass video together. Honestly, we probably would have a lot of luck just kind of like sending out inviting even some really big names to like just pop in on the show. I think there's a good chance that a couple of them be like, yeah, why the hell not?
Well, we're journalists,
Yeah,
the
we're
more you
journalists.
do a podcast, the more we are gaming journalists. And I saw a thing. I was watching a video on like because people were talking about the Switch 2 launch about like the most abysmal launches. So I've been watching a lot of old E3 footage or just E3 videos, and I saw a thing that said like, oh yeah, they shut it down in 2023 or they canceled it in 2023, like indefinitely. And I was watching the thing and I just forgot it was like over forever. But they said like, oh yeah, they're shutting it down until 2025, and I'm like, wait, hold on a second. So I don't know if E3 will be back. It would be like a childhood dream to go to E3 with a press pass, because I know you could like pay to go in the past, and I begged my parents and grandparents to like allow me to go to E3. Did you ever have that where you're like, man, all the people are there, I wish I was there?
I never like asked anyone to. I always assumed it was impossible, but it
Mhm.
would have been kind of cool.
Yeah, I think it'll be cool for us because we grew up watching very similar videos. I assume when it comes to like Nintendo tubers.
Oh yeah.
Mhm. So do you have any closing thoughts? I mean, I guess we did go over closing thoughts.
Yeah, Mario Kart World looks fun. I'm excited. I'm
And
excited to talk
that's
about Bonanza next week.
another episode of Switch 2 Ultra, episode 002 in the bag. We got to get to at least 999 of these. How many weeks? Oh, that's 999 weeks. That's a lot of years. I'm in it for the long haul.
Yeah, I don't know, in like 19 or 18 years, we might
Or we'll do the
we'll be
Japan
done.
time thing where like if nothing happens, we'll just do an episode a month, but it won't be canceled. It'll just be indefinite. We'll get there at some point. I've always said, I don't want to stretch this out too long. But just real quick, there's a lot of people I know that YouTube is like something they do for fun, and I respect that. I think that's cool. I think YouTube is fun. However, I want this to, like, this is my life, like I want to stream and make videos until I physically can't anymore. For some people, it's a pit stop, which I'm cool with. Like, that's probably the more responsible thing to do. It's why I'm so financially unstable this year, because I bet it all on YouTube and Twitch. Anyway, kind of bomb us out right last. All right, I have been your co-parent, BH Ultra.
I have been your co-parent, Switchy.
Come on, man. And this has
What'd I
been... No,
do?
you got it. And this has been Switch 2 Ultra.